not to go out of my mind. And all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I. Just you and I. Only you can put the fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can lift me off the ground. So we can fly again. 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 We can fly again.
Atomic particles traveling near the speed of light do decay more slowly than stationary particles. As strange and counterintuitive as it seems, time dilation is a law of nature. Traveling close to the speed of light is a kind of elixir of life. Because time slows down close to the speed of light, special relativity provides us with a means of going to the stars.
your feet. Stand up, stand up. Come on, get loose with the heat. Right now, right now. Think your body till you black out. Black out, black out, black out, black out. So get the fuck up.
Freedom, I never had the chance to run. Leave behind the said and done. Figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something more. So I think I found a new way out, way beyond a shadow of doubt. 'Cause I can't breathe, and I guess I could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But I'm doing this for me. Give it up, baby, I'm not fooling anyone. Always going on and on. Can't you keep it to yourself for once? Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow of doubt. And I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me.
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. I've been trying hard not to go out of my mind, and all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can lift
traveling near the speed of light do decay more slowly than stationary particles. As strange and counterintuitive as it seems, time dilation is a law of nature.
Good afternoon, good evening even, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport here for the round 13 and 14 of the season. We're on British soil and we're at the famous Oulton Park circuit. Only famous because of one reason in which most of this group knows, and we're not going to mention it because Dan and Kelly did enough of that last night. But we are here for rounds 13 and 14 of this season. I'm Matthew Duffin in the commentary box. Once again by Jamie Brazier. We wish Nicky and his family all the best in what is clearly a tough time for them at the moment. So we wish them all the best and hope they get well soon. And Jamie, tonight, British circuit, we know quite a lot about these tracks, and it's great to be on home soil.
Oh yeah, it's great to be on home soil. Oulton Park is a lovely track. I'm pretty sure most of the drivers love it. I'm pretty sure every driver in real life loves it. So it's such a picturesque circuit coming down Lakeside, but with this track, it's very difficult to overtake. It's a very twisty track and doesn't really have a lot of straights.
Very much rewarding, though, when you go through the corners.
Oh yes, especially the 2 chicanes. If you get the 2 chicanes perfect, it is so rewarding.
And as we know, if you get the 2 chicanes wrong, you're hitting that immovable object.
Yeah, you are. You're hitting the invincible tire stack.
Which obviously isn't a real thing. It's strange because we've come from Bruno where they give you a lot of damage and move out the way. We go here where they give you a lot more damage and don't seem to move. But either way, we're great to be back on British soil. None more than me. I couldn't be happier after last night's results, but let's not talk about me. We're talking about the quickest guys here at Simplay Motorsport in the GT3s. To start things off, though, evening to Disco. A very good evening to Smithy, who says, evening all, hope tonight will be entertaining as entertaining as last night's race. And my heart still bleeds for you, Smith. We're here in the chat, and what happened last night was a terrible incident. Mummy D in the chat. Good evening, guys. Try to see it all tonight. How is everyone? We're good. Thank you very much. Evening to PN Motorsport as well, who's in the chat. Smithy, there's always next time, Mummy D. It shouldn't have happened. PN Motorsport agreed, but it did. Lol. Last corner. That was last night. These boys are the pros tonight. Will be very close, as Smithy says. And Jamie, did you catch last night much of it? What did you think to the action and the drama?
I just caught the end of race 2. I did go back and look at some of race 1 just to see what had happened. Just really to see what had happened to Dean.
Yeah, Dean. Race 1.
Ooh, I think that's Emo. It's Fury spun and he just caught up little HGA. Dean being sent into space, but yeah, that was. I caught the end of race 2, and yeah, so that was quite entertaining, especially when Laney unfortunately got his 50-second penalty just to see where he'd end up.
Yeah, and it's nice for Dean at the minute because he's on a bit of a form here. 2 podiums in 2 weeks. Starting to get to grips with that BMW, and he looks like he's starting to just gel with the car now, and things cruising in the right direction. Yeah,
so he's looking really comfortable in that BMW. In the BMW, more so than the Acura and the Mercedes that he's been in. So it's the first time he's looked properly comfortable and really competitive, gunning for podiums.
Yeah, gunning for podiums, and he's not far off the pace in qualifying as well, and that's probably one of Dean's biggest criticisms. But enough about Dean. We're on about the 15 drivers currently here. We are missing at Maze Gamer at this moment in time, but we're on about these 15 drivers who are out there on the grid tonight. And the championship standings look like this then. Dan leads the way. Oh. I've just unplugged my microphone, so I do apologise about that one. Dan leads the way, 31 points clear of Andy, but Andy is yet to use his double points. He's still right in this mix. Dan needs to keep doing what he did last week at Texas and taking race wins to take points off of Andy so that he can create a bigger gap for when Andy does take double points. Fury's in third after a poor week last week. He is now some 69 behind. He's only just in front of Gary by 2 points. Gary, though, will serve a qualifying 1 ban tonight after gaining an extra penalty point for an unsafe rejoin. BT Targa's not far off the back of Gary. He's also got to use his double points. He's 97 off the back of Dan. So this man on screen at the minute could quite easily have a good double points week and be on the back of Unorthodox for this championship. Emo Guy, he's down in P6 on 111. D Biggs then just outside the 100-point mark in P7. Peaceful used his double points last week's on 87 with P9 Xmar on 83, some 4 behind. Maze Gamer's 10th, he's on 80. Sutty Apex is 11th, he's on 77. Little Leach is on 74 in P12 after a great after a great double podium last week. Argent is currently P13 on 69. Disco is P14 on 54. KLF off the bottom of the table for the first time this season on 53. And Monkey Boy bringing up the rear on 50 points. And bottom 3 separated by 4 points. And it's getting tight for the relegation spots. In terms of the constructors' standings tonight, well, it's Shake and Bake Motorsport who lead the way, 48 points clear of Sandbags Motorsport, with Slingshot Motorsport some 67 back. The Leachy Boys, the 2-time Pro Constructors winners season 1 and 2, are 87 back, with Team Prolapse 104 behind. Forever Forward Racing are 149 off the back. 7th place is Simplay Racing, who are only 12 off the back of Forever Forward. And then Audio Sport Prolapse from 7 off the back of Simplay Racing, and starting to just build some momentum and maybe get on the back of the boys out front. But Jamie, tight at the top, tight in the middle, tight at the bottom. Wherever you look, there's a bit of a battle happening in this current championship standings. And you have to say at the minute, Andy's in the box seat, 31 behind with double points to use.
Yeah, and he's definitely in the box seat. That say it's going to be very interesting when he uses his double points, because as soon as Dan Unorthodox finds out that he's using double points, he's going to do everything in his power to stop him scoring well that night.
Indeed he is. As we say good evening to Mummy D. Good evening, Matt, and well done for last night. Thank you very much, Mother Davis. We've got M. Plava in the chat. Good evening, everybody, and a massive well done to M. Plava on his 2 second places last night. He is pushing me hard. And Smithy saying, evening and well done last night. Solid again. And M. Plava is really solid in that Audi. The pit window is lap 4 to 14. So the guys cannot pit unless it's in between them laps. And Jamie, what's your core of preference tonight? What do you think is going to do well around here? What do we think is going to struggle?
I think the McLaren's going to do very well around here tonight, because it's not much of a power circuit. You've probably got down Lakeside. That first bit is probably the most power. It's really the only straight down here, and it's not much of a long straight. So I'm going to go with the McLaren. After seeing Dan's pace in practice, his pace is looking really good.
It is, isn't it?
I'd have to say probably as well. I reckon the BMW is probably going to do well around here as well. Normally from the touring cars we see the BMW always does well around Oulton Park.
It's going to be an interesting night, that's for sure. What car do you think is going to struggle tonight?
I'd have to say the Mercedes is going to struggle tonight, because it's really power based, and from when I've driven it, it's really quite hard, quite difficult to turn in. And say with this being a technical and twisty circuit, it's probably going to struggle the most.
We'll have to keep our eyes on how this went. And one of the Mercedes-Benz, a little known Argent, bring up a little fact about him, our very own Mazda, bless him, in a previous league, on the other configuration with the other hairpin, the one that's a bit closer, Argent, from about 5 car lengths back, decided I'm going to send one on Mazda here, and absolutely T-boned him. And Argent will absolutely love the fact that I've brought up an old memory like that, and he'll be absolutely loving it. It was probably the most famous crash to ever happen at Oulton Park, wasn't it, Jamie?
Yeah.
Thank you. Enough said about the other one. We'll leave the other one. As we say good evening in the chat to Welshie. Evening, Captain, says Smithy. Thanks, Smith. Lucky for you in the race one last night. Oh, Disco getting out of shape through the Britain's chicane in there. Go on then. Tell the chat about the other one. Go on.
There's another famous one back in 2011 where you hear the words, "Here comes Matt Neal for the lead," and he hits his teammate Gordon Shedden, knocking him off on the final corner of the final lap to allow a certain Jason Plato through to win.
Can I just say, though, Matt Neal went on to win that championship.
Yeah.
So, we're all good. We're still all good. For all you Jason Plato fans out there, he even took his own teammate out and he still beat us. But either way, we've got some other interesting information about you here at this famous circuit. I am just going to find it. It is about one of the corners, which is the corner of Knickerbrook, which Dan is coming down to right now. And if we could just jump on board, Dan. He's coming into it right now. So it's this little right-hander here. Knickerbrook is the corner. And it has a world-famous why it is called Knickerbrook. I've just got to find it to refresh my memory. So it is called Knickerbrook Chicane. In the leading to the naming of this corner, shortly before the circuit was created, local explosives was, used to create the way for the track and to create the way the track was going to sort of be. And a couple was seen fleeing from the corner, or from where the corner is now. And the lady had left her underwear, her panties, whatever you would like to call them, after they was having intercourse at the corner. And that is why it is named Knickerbrook. and I think it's probably one of the best corner names in the history of world motorsport. Mummy D, Matt, you ready for tomorrow's match? There will not be a match tomorrow, Mother Davis. There will be a Welsh onslaught on the English. But let's not get into countries beating up each other at the moment, because there's enough of that happening in the world as it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was going to say the rugby will be a good beating up, though.
Yep, the Welsh will beat the English, the Scottish will beat the France, and Wales can still win the Six Nations.
Would you like a recap, Matt, of what happened on our last visit to Oulton Park?
Hey, knock my socks off, Jamie. Go for it.
All the way back in season 2. So Ray,
A year ago, 1 year ago, can we just say? Because Dan pointed out a fact, because you made a fact the other night. Sorry, before you get into the thing. You made a fact the other night, didn't you, in a party with us?
Yeah.
1 year and 1 week ago, so it was this time last week, a year ago, we raced at Oulton Park. So it's now a year since we've last done it. Jamie pointed out to us that the last time we went to Oulton Park, the next race was going to be Long Beach. Lo and behold, next week's race is at Long Beach, a year after that race as well. And we just like pairing the two together. But Jamie, your track facts and what happened last time, give us a recap.
Yeah, so last time race 1 pole went to Andy, and as I'm pretty sure Matt can remember, D Biggs and Andy were stuck together like glue. Crashing at the same point, I think, in both races.
Yeah.
In race 1, that was won by Mazda in his first race in the Audi. There was a certain moment where D Biggs and Andy went off, and randomly their rear wings both fell off.
Yeah, that was quite funny. That was good.
And then race 2 is where it really kicked off after I lagged out the qualifying session. Dan Unorthodox took pole, and then probably another famous incident around this track took place. Peaceful explosion, bouncing down the pit straight in his Mercedes.
And there's nothing new there with Peaceful Explosion. The lap records from the last time we was here is Andy, Season 2, Race 1, with a 1:32.5. And lo and behold, 3 drivers have already beaten that lap record, and Andy's one of them. And the race record was Gary 131 with a 1:33.4. And do you know something? I think that might be broken tonight. Gary not gone out yet in practice. I'm surprised at that, because he's got the time to practice here.
Yeah.
Just can't race.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out as well, the person who won race 2 was someone in this commentary box.
And it wasn't me. I took the 2 wins last night. So we're pretty good round here.
Yeah, after I made the session lag out, I then went on and won it after another famous.
Oh, who's that who's making it lag out? Argent in the pits dancing. Oh, look at Argent's pace at the minute, Jamie. Jeez,
yeah,
wow.
That's very good. Ooh,
yeah,
I wonder whether his game's frozen. I've been having my game freeze quite a lot around this track during practice this week, so
I'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we'll be able to continue in the session. What did Smithy say? She said, don't worry about it, Smithy, just have your break. As Smithy misses next week, unfortunately, so will not be at Long Beach. As at PM Motorsport, who else saw the car glitching in the pit lane? Yep, just covered that one,
Yep.
But we've just literally got that one. Fury then in the session. Oh, that's some track limits there. These curbs, they're very unforgiving, especially that one at turn 1. You take too much of it, and it will severely unstable the car.
Oh yeah, it's I was gonna say, if you get cascades wrong, that will just ruin your entire race. Even this corner as well. You take that corner too quickly, and you're going straight into the gravel, or even worse, into the tyre wall.
You've also got to be patient on the exit, because that is exactly where Emplava dropped it last night and ended up 7-8 seconds behind me. The chicanes as well, you've got to get them bang on, because you want to be as close to the tyre walls as you possibly can, but do not want to be too close where you're just clipping the side of them. Ben Parkey, in the southeast of England, born and raised in Spearmint Rhino, where he spent most of his days. Maxing, relaxing, chilling, all cool, ex-marts hitting apexes while studying business at school, when a couple of McLarens who were up to no good started making trouble and their lap time's no good. He got in one bit of contact, and the Prolapse boys declared, "I'm moving you to a championship where the racing's fair." Ben Parkey, hang on, he whistled for a cab, and when it came near, the license plate said Prolapse, and it had a rainbow in the mirror. Anything I could say that this cab was rare, but he thought that's impressive, says Smithy. I think that's ruined the poem.
Yeah.
But Ben, loving the enthusiasm, loving the efforts. Nah, forget it. Yo, homeless, yo, homeless. We're racing. Be fair. Have I read that right? Yeah. I quite don't get the ending. But Ben, great to have you in the stream. Hopefully you liked and subscribed as well. Obviously, as everybody else, hopefully they have liked and subscribed as well. But Ben, absolutely loving the poems and in the support of the Prolapse boys. Obviously, a few of them out there tonight. Kelly, Dan, X-Mark, BT Targa in the Prolapse stable. But Dan, a shake and bake driver on the track tonight and still quickest by half a tenth. And look at the top three. Under a tenth separates them. Jamie, we could be in for a fascinating race tonight.
Oh yeah, we could be in for an absolutely fascinating race. Ooh, I want to just want to talk about this man, KLF. What a round he had last week.
Superb. Absolutely superb. He's been dreading the Pro this year. Absolutely dreading. He's really dreading tonight. But I tell you what, hats off to him because he drove that like it was in Pro-Am. Consistent. Everybody made mistakes around him. Got to the end. And you know what? I tip my hat to him because he was fantastic last week.
Oh yeah, he was absolutely excellent last week. I don't think we saw him. I think the only mistake we saw him make was him start about 15 seconds late in race 2.
When he changed the telly.
Yeah, when he changed his channel on his telly. So that's the only thing we can really put him up on.
And this is a thing here. Look at this. Look, this is a good bit of race practice for Kelly and Argent. Not in the same team, but Kelly can practice his defence and Argent can practice his attack. Because look at Kelly. Look how tight it is. And let's just go on board Argent a second if we can. Because Argent's view of the back of that McLaren compared to this track, look, Kelly's going to make him go to the outside. Now, the straight's not long enough for Argent to out-drag him. Turns in, Kelly's not there. Where's Kelly gone? I think Kelly must have backed out of that one. Yeah. That's a shame because I was going to hopefully get a lap of Argent following Kelly and trying to overtake him, but that's not to be. Argent for P5 at the minute, I mean, at the minute we've said that the Merc may struggle tonight because it's very tight track and not a lot of room for the Merc to use its legs and its muscle, but it's one lap pace. It's putting Argent up there, the quickest Merc out on track at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing very well. Say. He's making me eat my words, saying that the Merc isn't going to do nothing. He looks very.
When you look at the likes of Fury, who's third in the championship, 8 tenths off the pole, Argent some 5 tenths quicker. I say off the pole, sorry, off the quickest time in practice. That is a seriously good pace for Argent there, and the work's starting to pay off. And is Argent, like others this season, is Argent just came up, because of Rabbit Joe not being taking a sabbatical and having a year off? Is Argent now learning a bit more in the Pro? Because he seems to be finding pace that we didn't see in Pro-Am.
Yeah, he does. We saw a bit of it last week, but in his racecraft as well, he's not seeming to be as not hesitant, forceful in making his moves. He's waiting to make the moves, and then say like he can't get past, he starts being really forceful and then making mistakes. No, he's just being
patient.
Just
patient. And do you know what? That's all you have to do at this track. Patience will provide and will pull through. We look at the pace, though. The top 8 covered by a second, just over a second then for X-Mart and Sutty and Emo Guy. Little each a bit further back off the pace, as is Monkey Boy and KLF. Gary, not sure why Gary's not got to practice lapping, because Gary was free to practice, just not free to qualify in this one. So I'm not quite sure on Gary's tactics, but his practice comes to an end. I tell you what, who's your tip for pole? Because, again, and I say this every week, you can't not put this man in that picture for pole position.
I was going to say my top two choices have to be either an Orthodubs or Andy. I mean, the amount of poles Andy's had this year is really good. It's just really good, and an Orthodubs I've seen his pace around here, and It's so good. I've seen him in the 131s at one point when he's not cutting the chicanes.
Yeah, yeah. Ben Parker, that's not a dig. I'm not a rapper. I just wanted to rhyme. That's fine, Ben. Honestly, it was very enjoyable, Ben. Evening to Peaceful Stepdad as well. Get your votes and comments in the stream as we'll get the poll up now. Who will take pole position in this exciting race here at Oulton Park, just outside of Manchester? Oh dear, I've not put the right poll on. What's going off here?
As we see, Unorthodox has gone fastest in practice. 59 hundredths in front of Andy, with BT Target just 800ths of a second back, and then Disco a tenth and a half back as well. So it's going to be very close going into qualifying. Then it's quite close between Argent and D Biggs as well. They're only covered by a few hundredths of a second.
It's going to be a fascinating race, that is for sure. But who's your tip for pole then outright? Jamie, pick one driver. Who's it going to be?
It would have to be Unorthodox.
Yeah, I'm going to go Andy. And while we go into qualifying, the qualifying stats at the minute, Andy averages second place on the grid after his fourth place last week. He'd been on pole every single first race of the season, but averages P2, 5 poles to his name. Unorthodox, he averages P3 with a best of second place, not yet taken pole. D Biggs averages P11 in qualifying one. For a man of Biggs' calibre, only averaging P11 with a Q1 best of 5th place. For the likes of BT Target, he averages 7th with a best of 3rd place. A lot of them Q1 bests of just 3rd. The next best average is P5 for this man Fury, with a best of pole position, which he got last week, his first pole position in Q1. Other than Andy, every other pole position for anybody else has been in Q2. And yeah, Dan, you're going to go Andy. I'm going to go for... Sorry, you're going to go Dan. I'm going to go for Andy. And the way at the moment, get your votes in the chat now. 20 people currently watching, 13 likes on the stream. Who is? Can we work out the lead car? Biggs looks like he's hit something already in that.
Yeah, he has. The lead. It's not Emo Guy.
No, I thought it was. It is Dan. Has he hit something as well?
No, yeah, he might have done actually.
Just the front. Just go into his bonnet camera, on his roof. Sorry, roof camera. No.
I think that's just how the car looks.
Yeah, possibly so. I think Andy then, he's just behind the McLaren of D Biggs. No, that's Disco, the McLaren behind D Biggs. Andy is the one with the red wing mirrors. Oh, he's got some traffic of Xmart, as that was Emo Guy off the track. So let's go to Dan then, and let's get ready for a lap as he's coming through Deerleap now, and down the start straight we go, and into Old Hull Corner. And down to turn 1 comes Dan. KLF and Peaceful still in the pits. They need to get out. Gary obviously serving a qualifying ban. We are missing Maze Gamer down towards Cascades, and bumpy left-hander. You want to absolutely nail this, because this is vital to the run down Lakeside. And that is absolutely beautifully done from Dan. Textbook. Stay to the right-hand side of the track. You're going to get a little left-hand kink in the road. You see it coming up. Dan, lift. Slight lift. I'd say a slight lift there as you come into the Shell Oils hairpin. You want to tuck it nice and low. Don't touch the grass, though, because that will unsettle the car as you get the exit. Now towards the Britain chicane. The first of 2 chicanes. Good big sausage curb on the left. Great stone wall on the right. Dan absolutely misses both. Oh, and just maybe there, running himself a little wide. That's going to compromise his run then. Up and over the hill and down towards the Hislop chicane we come. Again, another great fat sausage curb on the right. This time a stone wall on the left. And if you wanted another stone wall, here's one at the exit of Knickerbrook chicane, as Dan absolutely nails that sector and perfectly done over the curb. Biggs has gone back to the pit, so he's clearly had a bit of a bad run a bit further back. Now up Clay Hill, a little left-hand bend here. Don't really feel that one. Into Druids we go. Double right-hander here, double apex, and nicely done from Dan, clipping both curbs out to the left. You just see the car come under the bridge and up and down the bumps and into Lodge now. And down through Deerleap, careful on the curb on the exit, through up Deerleap we come, under the Oulton Park sign, and across the line. If you're good, you're a 32. If you're excellent, you're a 31.9. That is a benchmark.
That has thrown the gauntlet down to everyone. That's pretty much said to Andy, right, Arnold Dubs has gone to Andy. Right, this is what I can do. Beat it.
Yeah. Game on now. Game on. Sutty with a 33.7. Bit off the pace there from him. Andy then, at Druid's corner, comes through. You see the BMW absolutely chucking it round then. Down through the straight, which I believe is Warwick something, if I'm right. Can't remember. Into Lodge.
Yeah, that is. You got the Warwick Bridge down
Warwick Bridge, yes. Down through Deer Leap then, and back up we come now. And Andy to the line. What is he going to do? Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, we said Dan laid down a marker. You've got to beat that, Andy. And Andy's gone, right, your serve.
Yeah, now back to Dan. Oh, has he run... Oh, I thought he'd run out of fuel then. I thought he'd put the minimum amount of fuel then.
Andy back into the pit, and I tell you what, this could not be any closer between these two. They are flying at the minute, and Dan and Andy have really got to give it... They're giving it some all season long, and this isn't going to end.
No, it is not going to end. So it sort of reminds you a bit of Max versus Lewis, just without the contact. It was just... All throughout last season in F1, it was Max would go to say to Lewis, "This is what I can do.
Yeah.
Can you do better?" Every single session, in every single race, it was between them two. And in the GT3s, it is always between Andy and the North Dubs.
Anybody else got an answer to it? BT Targa a little off his pace that we saw in practice. Currently third best. Sutty's fourth with Argent fifth. Emo Guy sixth. X-Mark seventh. Monkey Boy in eighth. Nobody else yet set a time. Of course, Gary 131 cannot set a qualifying lap. 75% of the votes has gone the way of Unorthodox for pole position. Well, he's got to come up with something special if he's to get it, because let me tell you, that lap from Andy there was an absolute treat.
Yeah, he must have been absolutely on the limit on that lap.
BT Targa just improving to Peaceful improved to P4, and then X-Mark's gone P3. Monkey Boy's just gone up into 5th as well, and I've currently got the timing screens in front of me. Disco on a green and green lap, so a personal best for him. Not yet set a time though. Comes to the line, and what time's he going to do? What time's he going to get as he crosses it now? Any improvement? Well, there is an improvement. He set one, and he's gone P5, right up there with his teammate. Where's Biggs for Dan's support? That's the question. Here he comes to the line as well.
Comes across the line, and he goes third.
Third, good lap as well with a 32.4. BT a 32.5, and that answers right back on the rear of Dan, being his rear gunner as always. Fury and Little Eats, the only two who's not had a lap time. Fury, he's pretty capable of nicking a pole position, as he did last week, but we've already kind of ruled out the Merc around this track. Who's going to get, what's he going to do though as he comes to the line now, crosses the line, goes 5th, you know, it's not bad.
Little Itch goes into 8th, and the Emo Guy is down in 13th, so he isn't able to get the car running at the minute. Argent seemed to not be able to hook up a lap.
Peaceful at the minutes on a green and green sector lap coming into the third and final sector. So where's Peaceful down in 10th? Can he improve on that? Little Leach has gone back to the pits can get out for one more lap time. Here comes Peaceful though. Any improvement on his 33.4? Couple of tenths and he's straight into the 32s and up into the top 5. Comes to the line now. Goes P5 with a 32.6. That's Emo Guy in the background. Any improvement for him? No, stays 13th. Who else is on a good lap? Disco's on another green and green sector lap. So he's absolutely flying as well as he's into Lodge now. And the BM seems to go well round here, Jamie. Good traction out the corners. That's where the BM's at its strongest.
Yeah, so again, he goes third. So he
wow.
goes BMW, McLaren.
Splitting Dan and D Biggs and helping Andy then at the start of this race. It's going to be a BMW one side, McLaren the other side. But at the minute, who else is on another flyer to come through? Argent's green and green. He's coming up towards Lodge now, I'd imagine. No, he's just there. Coming up into Druids. Fury has gone through the set of times. He wasn't improving any on his time, so we'll stick with Argent for the time being. On a green and green sector, the fastest Mercedes in practice. BT's in the pits. If he doesn't get out now, he's probably not going to get a lap in. Here comes Argent to the line. Personal best, down in 12th. Only up to 8th, so not as impressive as we thought there. But what is impressive is That lap from Andy, and he apparently set a personal best, Sector 1. Disco's gone back to the pit, so he's done for quali. This man's on a personal best, Sector 1, so can he find some more time out there?
Yeah, if he can find even more.
Wow,
time.
purple Sector 2, sorry Jamie. Purple Sector 2, this man, he's flying, he's lost it. Oh, what a shame. Purple Sector 2, that's out the window. KLF on a green and green sector. What's this time going to be? Andy's going to back off and have one more shot of this. Kelly will get one more shot of it. Comes to the line, improves. Not by a great deal there, though. His wipers are on, but it's 100% not raining. Sutty, he's on a green and green lap. Gary has come out of the pits. This might just be for a little run. I don't know why he hasn't done this in practice, to be honest with you, because he could have easily have came out in practice. Sutty, though, to the line.
He had a bit of a wiggle coming into the last corner.
Personal best from personal best. What does he do? Is he crosses the line 3/10 up, moves him up to 10th overall. A few drivers just steadying themselves and getting into the pits. But where is the main rivals? Disco's on a personal best green sector 1. Dan's just crossed the line to get one last lap in. So let's find the driver who's coming towards the back end of the track. This is BT, so I think BT will be the first of the finishers. So it's BT Targa then that will be the first driver to finish qualifying here. And he's not going to, because he's going to back out of it. Who's the next driver just behind him? Believe D Biggs comes to the line. No, Biggs is in the pits. That was Monkey Boy. He stays 12th. Who's next on track then? Who is coming up to Druids now? I think it might be Andy or Disco.
No, Andy's off.
Andy's off. Andy's done. Is it Disco then? No, Disco's in the pits.
Not Sutty, so could it? It's KLF.
KLF, and then the car behind, we're not quite sure yet. We'll hopefully bring you who that is. But here comes Kelly. Any improvement on his 135.3? Yes, does improve. That's Gary behind, and Gary goes back to the pit. So I think it's Argent was the next car on track. No, Xmart is the next. Sutty. Sutty then is the next car on track. And what will Sutty Apex be able to do in this one? So Gary will start dead last. Kelly will start 14th. Emo Guy will start 13th. Not the best qualifier for him. Monkey Boy down in 12th. Oh, Sutty's dropped it. So it's just down to Argent. Little Each will start P11 in this one. With Sutty Apex starting at P10. Xmart will be P9. With Argent currently P8, but on a green sector. So can he nudge ahead of his old teammate and maybe ahead of BT Targa? In fact, 2/10, he's up into P4 and on the second row. Here comes Argent.
Have to wait and find out.
Days P8.
Oh.
So he'll be disappointed with that one. 8th for Kieran Argent then. Peaceful Explosion will be in 7th place with Fury then in 6th. BT Targa got 5th in this qualifying, not far off the back. But I tell you what, it's Shake and Bake and Slingshot Motorsport who have dominated this qualifying. Biggs 4th with Disco McDisco Face in 3rd. Dan 2nd. And then his championship rival P1. And that's an extra point for pole position. So already another pole for the BMW. Another pole for Andy, taking him to 25, the first milestones in the pole positions. But what that does do, I can't find the right page. Where's the page? Here we go. 24 poles for the BMW now. It is now 10 behind the Porsche. Of all the years of Porsche dominance, it is on the BMW is 10 pole positions behind it. But the most important thing, Jamie, Andy claws a point back on Dan. The gap was 31. It's now just 30 before this race has even started. So things already hotting up here.
Yeah, so definitely hotting up. So Unorthodox is going to want to get him off the line. He's going to want to get Andy off the line because they're on this track. It's so easy to defend. He can just hold Andy behind him, and perhaps D Biggs might be able to have a go at Andy.
Look at that. BMW's on the left, McLaren's on the right. A pair of them.
Yeah.
Jamie, who's going to win this race?
I'm gonna put my money on Andy.
Oh, do you know what? I'm going to say Unorthodox is going to win this race, and the only reason I'm saying that is because after everything I try and do on a Wednesday night, he never says me. So I'm going to say Dan will win the race because I think Dan's brilliant. No, I do think Dan will win this race. I think Dan, inside line, if he gets a good start. I'll tell you one to watch, though, in this race, is that man at the back of the pack. Gary 131.
Gary. Would you like to know what the most what do you think's the most dominant car around here, Matt, in the GT3s?
In real life, in the real life world?
In the real life world, since 2015.
Gonna say the Lamborghini, because are we talking? This is just British GT, yeah?
Yeah, just British GT.
I'm gonna say the Lamborghini because there's a lot of them.
It is the Lamborghini. The Lamborghini since 2015's got 7 wins, and it say it's not on the grid tonight. So, wonder what someone could have done with they're in it.
Dan the postman, where is my delivery? Says Ben. He can't deliver it at the minute because it's green and we're away. Big's got an absolute shocker on the second row. Could get mugged to turn 1, but Andy gets a better start from Dan. And as they head into Lodge Corner already, into Oulton Corner already, Andy has that breathing space and that job done. Cascades, not known for its overtaking manoeuvres down here, but here we go. Andy from Disco. That is Biggs, who managed to keep 4th. Peaceful gone up to 5th place. Already Gary from the back of the pack's up to 12th, and somebody in the background has took the Foster's route.
Someone's in the pits.
We've lost a driver. Yeah, we've lost a driver.
Who is it? I don't.
That's Little Leach. We've lost Little Leach.
Oh.
So that is a shame that we've lost Little Leach. Someone, I'm sure, took the Foster's route or looked like they was wide in the background. That could have been KLF avoiding an incident. Gary's up to 9th at the end of his halfway through this first lap. He is absolutely rocked in. This guy loves the British tracks, and Gary absolutely flying at the minute. Little Leach, shame to lose him early on. And here comes Gary. Oh, nudges Sutty Apex up the rear there.
Yeah.
Oh, did he clip the wall?
Yeah, he did. He clipped the wall. That'll be suspension damage for sure.
Let's see how Gary goes. You've got to wait till pit 4 is when the window opens. But look at these two. And Dan will be finding exactly the same view as I had on Implava last night. There is nowhere to overtake. Let's show. Oh, who's that? Who is that in the background?
Peaceful. That's peaceful.
Oh, it's not. It is. Oh, and his look. His look. Oh, Emo and BT and Fury. Oh.
Yeah. Fury's luck worsens as well.
Fury having no luck. BT qualified so well. He's had a terrible start to this race. An Emo guy in the wall. Why is Sutty in the pit lane? That's early. He'll have to pit again. Everybody who pits before the pit window will have to pit twice. And look at that bumper. He's had a drive-through. Oh, he's had a drive-through. You could not make the start of this race up. Look at Dan's view, though. On board Dan, into the hairpin we come on lap 2. Andy hasn't got to do a lot. He's just got to park the car beautifully. He hasn't even got to park it beautifully. It's so tight around here. It's so difficult to pass, Jamie. Where can Dan get this job done?
A good place to be able to do it would be through here. Try and get the drive into the next chicane. But the BMW's just got so much traction off that corner. A good one as well could be up the hill towards Druids. That very good over.
Oh, it could be. Andy looked like he brushed the tyre wall there, but Dan compromised his run by running wide. And I tell you what, that is not going. This is not going. Who's that? Oh, it's Kelly. Oh, what's happened to Kelly?
I think looks like he's lost it at the first chicane. And North is looking to the outside of Andy.
And here we go. We know what happens at this corner, but it doesn't happen to Dan. Coincidentally, Matt Neal was in a white car that day as well.
Yeah, he was looking for the cutback on down the pit straight. I mean, to be fair, though, it's not even a pit straight.
No, it's a. Yeah, I don't even know what you'd call it because there's nothing to it. It is the shortest run you'll ever see. But what a job Dan has got on his hands here. What a job his teammates got in his hands in the background as well. Right on the back of Disco with Disco Face. Slingshot Motorsport Shake and Bake. Slingshot Motorsport Shake and Bake. Arjun running P5. He's having a flyer. Xmart here up into 4th. Gary P7. So we thought he could have damage. Xmart's had a good start to this rate. P6 at the moment as well. And the pit window opens at the end of lap 4. So they've got to do this lap, then another lap, and then the pit window opens, and I'm sure there'll be a few guys in the pits to sort that out. But Gary having a cracking lap here, and Kieran going great guns. But back to this battle out front, Jamie. Dan looks closer, and he's looking into his laps.
Yeah, he looked to the inside there. He's not going to get it.
Oh, Andy deep! Andy deep! Does he cover Dan off? Just about.
He does. Ooh, that was clutch there from Andy.
The thing for Andy here is he doesn't need to push this car too hard. He doesn't need to push this car ridiculously hard at all. He can keep this lead quite comfortably. The one thing he has got, though, is it looks like Disco McDisco Face is starting to gain in the background.
Yeah, maybe Andy's got a little bit of a plan to just hold an off dubs up. Oh, I think Fury's made another mistake. He's just got... Fury and BT have come together again.
Yeah, that's another mistake down at the Hislop chicane. Fury's car doesn't look battered or bruised at all, whereas BT Target's car looks an absolute wreck. He's got to wait till the end of lap 4 to get it in the pits, and this is going to be a tough night for him. Just wait, and Dubs plenty of time, says Smithy. KLF and Sutty at the back. Hate to see it, teammate, says Smithy. And Ben Parkey, the Dan drive it like an LMP2, but don't bin it. That'll be difficult for him. It's down... Go on, sorry.
I think Andy is trying to play a bit of a team game here in back unorthodox up.
Oh, Dan!
Yeah, he had a look there. He's trying to back unorthodox into Disco.
He is, and that's not really working as well as Andy would have liked it, because Disco is just being kept at bay. But the thing is Biggs is coming with Disco, so Andy trying to get his rear gunner, but right behind Andy's rear gunner is Dan's rear gunner. They're all coming here. It's like watching Mercedes versus Red Bull once again, or Mercedes versus Ferrari, depending on what year of F1 you wanted to watch. And it's go for all these drivers at this moment in time. Gary's up ahead of Xmart now into 6th place. So Gary's gained another position. Who's that off? That's Kieran Argent.
Ooh, yeah, it is.
And Gary, thank you, Mama, for the carrots. Q1 band, stay out of trouble. And he's P5.
I'll tell you what, Disco's pulled a bit of a gap to BT, so Andy can put the plan into action now, because Disco's got a bit of a gap.
He has indeed. Xmart's on the back of Argent, Emo catching as well, so just Argent's.
What's happened to Sutty? Because Sutty's now down in last.
Has he made a mistake somewhere? Because he had a drive-through, but was ahead of Kelly after Kelly spin, so clearly these two struggling. These two just behind Fury, so Fury's had another moment, I think, or is that Fury still recovering from his other moment? It's Fury and BT. Right, pits can happen. Gary then, straight in. No messing around for Gary 131. He's straight in the pits. Here's Peaceful on the back of his teammate Monkey Boy. They're not coming in, and they've got Argent right in front of him. So Xmart's cleared Argent, and that's job done. It wouldn't surprise me if we see BT Targa come into the pit lane. And I think he is. Yeah, I saw a car slow on the track map. BT Targa in, as is Fury. So all three of these in then. Gary will be on his way, and that puts Kelly and Sutty 10th and 11th. You'd think Gary would be on his way, as Little Each has to sit and watch his teammate be serviced. Off goes Gary 131 to resume his race here in the Porsche. And that race win that we said could be getting to the 50th for the Porsche, I don't think it's going to happen in this first one. They need 2 wins tonight. As Andy, he's just put a bit of daylight between Dan here and himself.
Yeah, so the same things happen with Disco and D-Big, so I wonder whether it's the cars just got better race pace, because it's happening with both BMWs. They've both pulled around the same gap to the McLarens.
I wonder if their tyres just come into it a bit, or has the life just kicked in the car with a bit of fuel coming off of it. Andy just seems to be so confident around here and so comfortable at the minute. And let's see the lap times here then. So a 33.4 for Andy. Yeah, Dan lost 6/10 that lap. Disco, he lost a further 8/10 to Dan. And D-Biggs was a bit quicker than Disco that time round. But at the minute, Andy just starting to get comfortable here. And is this now a bit nervy for Dan? Because Dan losing points to his rival, not the best thing. Argent back up to 5th. He's got Xmart on his tail. So what happened to Xmart? He must have had a spin somewhere. And that in the background is Emo Guy and Peaceful Explosion, as the cameraman picks them up now, coming into the pits.
Yeah, so Disco's pulled about a second gap to D-Biggs now. So he's really trying to push on and catch the back of Unorthodox.
He is indeed, as Dan's just slowly chipped that gap down a little bit, goes up through the chicane, but I don't know here, it just seems to be a weird moment for these McLarens, doesn't it? Because they was right on the back of both BMWs, and now the BMWs just seems to have stretched their legs a little bit and can cruise on forward once again.
I tell you what, Unorthodox was so close there to smacking the tyre stack.
And what he doesn't need is, while his rival's in front of him, is to make a mistake and have drivers drop ahead of him, with him having to repair damage. Don't forget, Dan's double point score this season was Bruno. It's also his drop score, so he's not got a double points to use over Andy. And Dan, he's held it. He's held it.
But he's lost time. He's lost about 0.2 to Andy there.
That corner there, Jamie, it's so easy to lose the rear end and go fully round. Dan, very lucky that he's not lost the rear there and gone fully round, because Disco and Biggs would have been right past him. Now, what's happened to Biggs as well? He's lost more time to Disco.
I wonder whether the same thing's happened.
These McLarens just starting to struggle against the BMWs here.
Yeah, so the same thing that's happening. It looks like the same thing that's happening with Unorthodox is happening to Deep Biggs, and say both battles are literally very similar to each other.
It's a mirror image almost, as if they're side by side happening together on like a split screen angle, as if they're happening at the same time. Biggs and Dan both seeming to lose out to their rival BMWs at the minute, up and over the hill, down in towards the Hislop chicane. Andy, Dan, Disco, D Biggs, and yeah, just very strange for these McLarens at this rate. It can't be the tyres going off, surely. We've only done 7 laps.
Oh, Andy touching the grass there. He doesn't want to do that at all, because if he brakes on it, that'll be him round. The Hislop chicane, I saw him touch the grass.
He's on the grass again there. He's just pushing the limits a little bit of maybe where he... Oh, I'll tell you what, he got close to the grass there as well, under braking into Lodge Corner. Dan this right time. He's not fully round, but he's had a good spin. And Disco, well, what is happening to the McLaren? What is going on here? But Dan down to third, and it's a Slingshot Motorsport 1-2. Biggs now gaining on the back of his teammate. This is a strange race if you're these two boys.
I wonder whether Dan might have just set his brake bias a bit too far back, and it's just making the rears lock up.
Possibly so, but are they both driving it like that? Because, like we say, both cars are pretty much copying each other. Who else is down there in a little battle? Fury and BT looks closest together, although the timing screens wouldn't say that. That gap's just over a second. Gary 5 seconds up the road, and BT on his way. Sutty's in the pits.
Yep.
And that will put Peaceful, Emo Guy, Kelly. Will that put... In fact, it hasn't put Emo Guy yet. Where is Emo Guy? Wow, he's only just gone past, so he had a lengthy pit stop. Look how smooth Biggs is on the wheel. It's so nice to see. Absolutely brilliant. Sutty's lost out to Emo. Where's Kelly coming across the line and past Sutty now? No, Sutty's on his way out the pits here. Sutty's jumped Gary.
Yeah, I wonder whether Gary's made a mistake, because look at his last lap, a 1:36.9.
Possibly so. Gary's still behind Kelly. And Sutty then out the pits before his teammate and before Gary 131 can get round. And D Biggs here. Oh, that McLaren looks very slidey through there. And is that Dan opted into pit? Yes, because Andy's in the pits.
Now let's see how quick is this pit stop going to be.
Yeah, is it a Cora-like pit stop from last night? No, it's not. We was away before the Lollipop Man come round. Andy's had a cracking stop. Dan away now. Bit of a long one. And Andy then may have just pulled a bit more of a gap. And look at who's coming to make matters worse for Dan.
I think Andy's going to get out if... Oh, no.
Argent's just got Andy, but Xmart didn't.
Xmart got in the middle of him.
Yeah,
and
so... Go on, sorry.
It's about a 3-second gap now.
Yeah, Andy's pit stop was absolutely mega. And Monkey Boy in the background, losing the rear behind Dan. Just must have touched the grass on the outside of Cascades and loses the rear. Collects it well, and on his way he can continue. But Dan now has to clear Exmore, and Dan's view at the minute will be the back of that orange McLaren. And he will have Andy in front of that McLaren. But like you say, Jamie, it's about a 3-second gap. 2.9 seconds, I think, might just be the gap. Dan here lost a lot of time in the pits there.
Yeah, he did. I think Xmart's got a bit of damage on the front of his car. You can just see the
Yeah, is it the front right of the bonnet, isn't it? Just looks like it's lifted slightly. And Dan's really gained on X-Mart here. Really gained on him.
But Andy has just gone.
Yeah, dropped him for dead. The problem is, how quick will he catch Argent? When will Argent pit? Obviously, they've got to the end of lap 14. D. Biggs is in. Andy's made a mistake. He's on the grass. Back on.
I think he left. I was going to say he lost a bit of time there, so.
That would have put a smile on this man's face, no doubt. As is that X-Mart dropping into the pits? Yes, it is. So X-Mart comes in as well at the end of lap 9. That's done Dan a favour, that, because that is really what Dan would have wanted. Damage limitation. Get out. If X-Mart can pit before Dan gets right onto the back of him, he's not got to worry about getting past X-Mart in a way. So that's good job from them. Monkey Boy is into the pits as well. But Andy making a little mistake. That's the first mistake under no pressure from Andy that we've seen today. And Dan now back within a second. So it's as we were, Jamie, before the stops.
Yeah, I was going to say the big person who's going to have a major part to play is going to be Disco. Where's he going to filter out?
Yeah, at the minute, it's not as long a pit lane here, so at the minute, it's not going to be as much of a time loss in the pits. Monkey Boy's come out P9 so far, so he's back on his way behind Emo Guy and X-Mart. In fact, he looks like he's had a good stop compared to X-Mart. He looks a bit closer to the back of X-Mart, does Monkey Boy. But you're right, not as long a pit lane here. Where will Disco feed out? Because he's 16 seconds up the lead. He's coming out of Lodge now. Kelly's in the pits and last. Wow, Kelly's having a shocker.
Right, Disco's in. Where is Andy and...
Not the night for Kelly. Right, Andy, Dan, coming through Druids. Druids? No. Yeah, right, Druids. Good stop. Good stop, Disco. Down through Deer Leap comes Andy and Dan. Disco, when's he going to be off the limiter? Argent, that's handy for both Dan and Andy as well, because Argent gets himself into the pits. Disco here was ahead of Dan before the stops. Off the limiter he comes. He's behind him now.
Back to...
Well, as we were, Jamie. As we were.
As we were before Dan made his mistake.
Everybody has now pitted in this race. And Kelly, not having the best of races here. He's down in 14th place, nearly a lap down. In fact, I think he is a lap down now.
Yeah.
In fact, no, I think he's about to be a lap down. That's him at the bottom of the map. And look at the four behind him. Andy, Dan, Disco, D, Biggs. Now.
I think he's just getting out of the way of everyone there.
Yeah, I think he's just parked it absolutely nicely there. Yeah, he has. So well done, Kelly. Has Biggs jumped Disco? No, Biggs didn't jump Disco. Disco out ahead of Biggs. But whereas we were before Dan had a spin, and all these McLarens just coming back into it here. The life of this McLaren seems like it's coming back around, doesn't it?
Yeah, Northam's is a lot closer. And look at his lap time that last lap. He was near enough a second quicker than Andy.
Absolutely flying as Andy on the grass again. Just a little mistake. And Bryn said to me last night, it feels like the tyres just go off on this BMW. And it feels like it just goes off the edge of a cliff. Well, that's not what Andy and Disco will be wanting. All their tyres going to be better here than what Bryn and Dean maybe had last night. We'll have to see. But Dan, at the minute, certainly bringing himself back into this race. The gap's 3 seconds to Disco. Disco's got about a second to D. Biggs. They've not got to worry about Argent, because Argent's down in P5 with Peaceful off the back of him. Kelly's back in again. Oh, no.
Oh, Gary nearly lost it there.
Gary and Fury out to Knickerbrook. Gary down in 12th. Gary had an early stop here from 5th. And he's still 12th after everybody's pitted.
Yeah, so I wonder whether... Because I think Fury's got past Gary, so I wonder whether Gary's carrying any damage.
He was 5th, though, before everybody pitted. Before even he pitted.
Dan's made a mistake.
Oh, he hasn't. Oh, he has. It's at the chicane as well. And he's lost out to his teammate and Disco. We've missed that one. But Dan is seeing his rivals drive off into the distance. What has he done there? He will be kicking himself.
Look at the gap now. It's 4 seconds. And Andy's got his teammate behind him for comfort.
Dan's got to put in some laps here to get onto the back of D-Biggs. Lap 12 of 20, nearly lap 13. Gary's round at Cascades. There's Kelly exiting the pits. Gary stays nice and still this time. What is happening to Gary 131?
I wonder if he's burnt his tyres up.
Possibly so. Bless him. He tries. But back to D-Biggs at the front of this pack. Dan, though, has struggled tonight. He's lost it twice nearly at the final corner. Now he's had a big spin at the Britain chicane. Biggs has now got to hunt down Disco. That's wide.
Yeah, that's why I was going to say he's got the mesh type of surface there. It doesn't really affect the cars too much, but it's better than going on the grass.
Yeah, it is, but he lost a bit of momentum there, and Dan now 3.4 off the back of Biggs has got work to do. But if he keeps spinning, does he bring Argent into play here?
Yeah, Argent's only about 10 seconds down the road. He's a little dot just coming down Lakeside.
And Argent will see Dan going up the hill, and Dan will see Argent just below the hill there. You saw the lights on the right-hand side of your screen as Biggs. Very close. You know what? That Cora turned beautifully through there tonight. Looked a lot better than that McLaren did through there. It's very overcast, very cold, and very dark here today. No rain forecast, though. Although snow and rain were due, but at like a 14% chance, so that's not going to happen. So obviously we go off of a 25% basis. But Biggs just losing out to Disco. That gap's now 1.1. He's just not got an answer for Disco, has he? Got no answer.
No, he can't close in on him. Well, Disco takes the Andy line across the grass. Ooh, Biggs has
deep again.
Yeah, he had a bit of a wiggle there.
Argent, though, down in P5. He's got to be careful because as he's lost a bit of time to Dan. And he's got a Ferrari that's going to be getting large in his rear view mirror in just a moment. And that's of Peaceful, who seems to be having a bit of a better showing at the moment. Here he is, look. Home track this for Peaceful, not far from him. He goes to Oulton Park every season, VIP with Team Hard. In the British... Oh, we've lost Gary! Oh, and that'll be a nil point and a retirement for Gary today then, unless he can prove... that it was an internet problem or something. 0 points for Gary in this first one. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, it's a massive shame to get Gary Fury's near in the back of X-Mart. You got BT just a few seconds down the road.
BT and X-Mart, X-Mart looked good in practice and qualifying, and BT looked good in qualifying and practice. X-Mart had a good start to this race, and they're down the pack. So what a shame for these two boys as well that they're not up the sharp end of the grid.
Disco looks like he's made a mistake.
Yeah, I think he has. That's 7/10 of a second. I think you're right, Jamie.
And Dan's back in the 33s, but I just don't think there's enough time for him to close in on.
No.
An overtake.
Lap 14, and you've got to gain 3.4 seconds. There's just not the time for Dan here to get ahead of Disco or in front of Disco because you've got to clear your teammate. And let's not forget, Biggs is fighting for everything as well. Gary Y, both leeches, says Smithy in the chat. Little Leach didn't even start this race, Smithy, so not sure what happened with Craig there. And I'm sure we'll find out about Gary a little later. But at this moment in time, Andy 6 seconds up the road, and Biggs get now 6/10, Jamie, behind the back of that BMW, starting to pick up that slipstream a bit more. Down Lakeside they come, and is now Disco just starting to struggle?
Disco's starting to struggle, but I tell you what, Andy certainly isn't. He's near enough in the 132s.
Wow, that is absolutely fantastic pace. I've just seen Fury and BT Targus pace for 11th and 12th in the 33s, quicker than these boys here, and are sat that far down the grid. What a shame that they're not further up the order here in this one. Biggs, though, really getting closer. In fact, look at Fury. He's pushing X-Mart to the line, pushing him over the line, and says, thank you very much. No, he says, all right, and X-Mart will go again a little later.
They're going to go side
Oh, you're not going to go... Oh, this is brave. This is brave and ballsy. And Fury... Fury was never going to win that fight. You're never going to win it around the outside at Cascades. And yeah, well done, though, for not making contact through there. 3/10 the gap now, Jamie. Biggs charging.
Yeah, Biggs is charging, or is Disco Disco's struggling. Well, I was going to say, Biggs' last lap was quicker than Dan's, quicker than Disco's.
Well, Biggs is invaded their space quicker than a country can invade another one. You see what I did there, didn't you? Hey, you let out one. But he's really getting on the back of Disco with Disco face here. Bit wide at turn 1 and down towards Cascades they come. Oh, hey, Murray would be proud of that one, wouldn't he? Murray would love that. He'd absolutely love that.
Ah, dear me. Theory is literally is in the boot of X-Mart's car.
Yeah. He's trying to invade as well, but Fury coming round. He's the yellow and blue, or the grey and blue on this, the yellow are Disco. One's trying to invade and the other one's trying to not be invaded. But Fury down onto the back of Exmore, in through Lodge again once more, down through D-League they come now. And up to the start line. This where Fury got to attack up the inside of Exmore. You can see that Mercedes power just on this part where you're flat out, but it can't gain enough on the McLaren as Biggs still having to settle for second best. Argent and Peaceful kind of keeping their gap. Peaceful was half second quicker last time round. I don't think he's got the time to gain over Argent at the back end of this race. And once again, these boys are continuing another fight.
Ooh, Biggs just clipped the grass out and might just slow him down ever so slightly. Again, Andy in the 133s.
Flying.
Northduffs is in the 133s. He's 2 seconds now behind D-Biggs.
The question here, Jamie, what do you do if your teammate's pressuring Disco this bad? Do you let your teammate go for the position? You know, when season's not done yet, we're not to the end of the season yet. What's the strategy here for the team?
I think really that Northduffs he's got to let Disco attack, let D-Biggs attack Disco until the last lap, and then if he really has to, I think D-Biggs has got to let Dan through on the last lap once he knows he's not going to get past Disco. But Northduffs has got to let D-Biggs give it everything. He can't ask him to move aside now because that would be pretty much giving up second place.
Yeah. D-Biggs then on an absolute charge. Disco seems quicker at these parts, but through the corners, that's where Biggs is really catching. Just needs one good run out the corner as Andy where is he? He's coming up Clay Hill now towards Sector 2, and look at Biggs. He's right on the back of these boys here. Monkey Boy trying to gain on Sutty for P8 as well, a bit further down the list. And I think Peaceful may have made a mistake somewhere because he's lost a bit of time to Argent. That gap's extended to 6.7 seconds here, but I'm sure Peaceful will take a P6. 14 drivers started this race, which means the top 7 cannot qualify for race 2. So Emo Guy, Peaceful, Argent, Unorthodox, D-Biggs, Disco and Andy cannot qualify for P2. Where's Monkey Boy in terms of Sutty, I wonder? Yeah, about 1.8, so there's still time.
Yeah, you just see Sutty there, so yeah, if Sutty makes a mistake, Monkey Boy...
Oh, now Xmart must have made a mistake. Poor old Kelly's in the pits once again, but Xmart must have made a mistake because he's lost out to both Fury and BT Target here. So Xmart down to P12. What a shame.
Oh, Kelly's got major damage.
The good thing is for Kelly is he's stuck at it. There's no Maze Gamer. Little Leach is retired. Gary's retired. He's going to get 13th place points.
Yeah, say at the end of the day, every point counts.
Every point does count, but back to the battle at the front. The gap, though, Disco's just extended it slightly here, Jamie. And Dan, within a second and a half of his teammate, who's losing out time to Disco. Disco face! He's hit the wall!
Oh, there goes Dan. Another through and...
Question. What damage does D-Biggs have to that car? Because if it's big enough, can Argent gain the 10 seconds?
He's got suspension damage. Look at the car pulling.
Yeah, it's crabbing. It's crabbing. Oh, it can't make the chicane. Oh, he's got to pit.
He's got to pit. He must have 100 suspension damage. Look at the car.
No, I seen 100 suspension damage earlier with Andy. That wouldn't even turn in a straight line. That was quite funny on what happened in practice. Yeah, look at him.
Let's see you going down the straight. Look at it.
Yeah, it's about at a 1 o'clock angle. Evening to Fury's mum in the chat, and yeah, this is going to be a lengthy stop on the penultimate lap of this race. This will gift Argent.
No, he's not.
He's going to keep going. Okay then, Biggs. Game on.
There's 2 laps left. He's got a 10-second gap to Argent. If he can keep on it, then why not?
It's going to be one heck of a job. Here's Emo Guy on the back of Monkey Boy now. So Monkey Boy losing out time to Sooty, but has gone into the clutches of Monkey. In fact, no, his Emo Guy made a mistake because Monkey Boy was 9th. He's now 8th. So his Emo Guy made a mistake somewhere then.
His lap time at 1:36.2, so it would probably say, yeah, he has.
Has he made it this lap? We'll see as he crumbs to the line. I hate when that Mercedes squishes its front end up because it looks even worse than what it does anyway. Not pitting, crosses the line. Yeah, he's made a mistake this lap, hasn't he? 45.4.
Yeah.
That would say it all. Biggs, though, gap's 8 seconds now. Argent's not taking enough out of him. Dan to Disco, under a second. Hello, or just over a second. Is Dan going to give it his all for this last lap?
But he's flashing him, he means business.
Do what Matt Neal did on Shedden and send it at the final corner. I dare you. No, don't really. Don't actually do that. You're too far back.
Or is Disco gonna channel his inner Jason Plato and block him at every turn?
Dan flashing once again, and here he comes. Gap to a second now. D-Biggs to Argent, still about 8 or 7 seconds at the minute, so Argent not catching enough. Oh, I feel for Biggs. I feel for Biggs. Oh, Dan. Bit of a wiggle.
He's lost a bit of time there, so...
9/10 of a second, 8/10 of a second. Danny's coming and coming quick. The question is, if he's close enough, does he risk a send it? I mean, I don't think he's got much to lose on the last lap if he sends one.
If he does send one though, and they both end up really far wide, that could give an open invitation to D-Biggs and Argent. I know they're a bit of a way back, but if they go right the way off.
Argent to Biggs now, some 6 seconds, 5.5. In fact, now he's coming absolutely flying at D-Biggs' Argent here.
I was gonna say, I don't think Argent's gonna have enough time to get
No, I don't.
The
Where's Andy? Let's go to Andy then. He took pole position. He's coming to Druid's corner now. He's coming into Lodge for the final. He's coming, Lodge corner for the final time. And Andy, you have to say, Jamie, a few scares early on, but has been flawless in this first race. It's got to be win number 3 this season for Andy. The real battle is the one behind. Let's cut to Dan and Disco at Lodge. Dan couldn't get the job done. Is it going to be a 1-2 for Slingshot Motorsport? I think it is. Disco from Dan, and it was Dan's error that's led to this mistake. Dan's errors that led to this mistake. And look at Argent, 3.6 seconds, but he's not going to have enough. D-Biggs is just going to hang on in there for the P4, but take nothing away from Argent. An absolute outstanding race for what will be 5th. Good stuff from him. Peaceful Explosion looks like he's going to hold on to 6th place as well. So good job for Peaceful. Sooty Apex 7th. This the fight for 8th. We'll get closer to Sooty crossing the line in a minute, because this one corner left, you think if Monkey Boy gets through it, that'll be job done.
Is Emo Guy going to send it though? He had a little look, but no, nothing's going to come of that.
So Sooty then finishes 7th. Monkey Boy will finish in 8th. Good result for him. That's his best result of the season, P8, and continues to be his best result. Emo Guy will get a 9th place, with BT Targa, not the race for him, down in P10. Fury will get an 11th.
BT managed to get in front of Fury in the last remaining laps.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. X-Mark 12th, KLF 13th. We await, Jamie, the fastest lap in what was a fantastic first race.
Yeah, that was an absolutely brilliant race.
Well, that was your first race in round 13 here. Who took the fastest lap? A 1:36 dead from Andy. Dan a 1:36.2. Good race nonetheless, but a 33 dead, I think, is the fastest lap. Yes, it is. So Andy takes the fastest lap of the race. So maximum points from race 1. And you'll never guess who's on double points. That's right. It's Andy. And what a job he has done early on. We'll be back in about 5 minutes' time for the second race. We'll get the drivers in for the interviews for the second qualified as well. But make sure you go and grab a quick coffee.
Counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. down the days, counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead.
Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to Simplay Motorsport, here for the second race of the evening. And apologies about camera, I don't know if Jamie is back or not at the moment, but I'll give you the quick current championship standings. Andy now leads the way on double points, 7 clear of Unorthodox, who's on 238. Fury still in third. He pulls just slightly ahead of Gary by 7, as Gary stays 4th. BT Target in 5th. Emo Guy now 6th place with D-Bigs, just over 100 points in 7th. It's then Peaceful Explosion in P8. He's got Xmont now 10 points at bay. He's extended his gap there. Sooty goes into 10th, knocking Maze Gamer down. Argent tied on with his teammate on 80 points apiece. Little Each then in 13th place, tied with Disco on 74 apiece. And Monkey Boy goes back above Kelly by 2 points here. And in the Constructors' battle, it's Shake and Bake who still lead the way, 22 points clear of Disco and Andy in the Slingshot Motorsport BMW. Sandbags Motorsport are 65 points behind now, with Leach Motorsport 116 off the back. Team Prolapse are excuse me, P5 123 behind. Forever Forward Racing are 15 points clear of Simplay Racing for 6th place, and Audio Sport Prolapse some 13 points behind Simplay Racing. And we'll start with the 3rd place man. Dan, a race of mistakes from yourself, but luckily, I suppose, due to your teammate catching a tyre, all got on the podium.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling Andy was going to be on double points tonight, and I was just trying to pressurise him as much as I possibly could. And I'll happily walk away with 3rd. But one more lap, and I reckon I could have got this go. But hey, that's racing. Brilliant stuff from the Slingshot boys. They absolutely smashed it tonight, and 1-2 for them, which gets them closer to us in the championship as well. So it's hotting up, and I'm excited. I'm pumped after that race, to be honest. You
look like you struggled a little bit. Two rear end wiggles at the back end of Druids, and then what happened at the chicane? Because we didn't quite see that one.
I just dropped down the power. I hate Oulton Park. I hate this track. I really don't get on here. And in previous leagues as well with Andy, I know he's good around here, so I just knew I had to put him under pressure. I see him had a couple of wiggles at times, but it wasn't enough, and it's so difficult to overtake here. And I'm sick and tired of reading the sponsors on the back of that BMW.
What can you do race 2, buddy? A lot of work to do from the back of the grid because you start dead last in what is a tricky race.
You know what? I'm quite happy starting last, because then I can kind of figure out what's going on in front. So basically just stay out of trouble, put Andy under pressure if I'm in front of him, and make my McLaren as wide as possible. But if not, I pressurise him as hard as I can. So nonetheless, we got to push hard now. Biggs to get the hang of the McLaren, and these two are now found their stride. And this is going to be an interesting end to the season. Make sure you tune in, guys, because I'm not going to let Andy have this too easy.
Well, best of luck in race 2, buddy. We'll let you get back to it.
Cheers. Well done, boys.
And we've got Disco in the chat as well. And Disco, it's nice to see you back on here. It's been a while. That BMW looks good round here.
Yeah, good to be back. Been a long, hard, frustrating season so far. But yeah, round here just feels absolutely planted. No mistakes, just steady, quick pace. And try to hold back the Shake and Bake boys to let Andy escape. Get on the buffer, almost.
Dan made the mistake you got through. He jumped you back at the pit stops before he made his vital mistake. Dean took a podium last night, and Breen looked like he had pace in the BMW last night. Would you say the track really suits this car? Because it looked like he was able to catch Dan and pull away from Biggs? It looks like the BMW is so dominant.
Yeah, it might be another one of those circuits like Red Bull. I don't know, just kind of suits it. Like I say, the back end felt really good in the twisty corners. Just seemed to do everything I wanted it to do.
Race.
So hopefully that's the car back. And
Race 2. What can you do? Because you was going to take double points tonight. What can you do race 2?
I don't know. I've just got to wait and see. Really, like I say, there's so many variables. You just got to slow and steady again. See what comes of it.
Well, we wish you the best luck, buddy. We'll let you get back to it. Get ready for race 2. But congrats and nice to have you back up here.
Cheers, Matt.
And we got Andy in again, and that's one of them poles that you've converted to a win.
Yeah, couldn't be more happy with that one. It just was plain sailing for the most part. Dan was on the back of me for a while, but he made a couple of mistakes, and that just gave me that breathing space. And then when I went into the pits, I had a bit of a long stop. It wasn't actually a long stop, but I hadn't alerted the pit crew that I was coming in, so they weren't ready for me. And I was about 3 or 4 seconds. I think Dan must have got the pit stop cheat because he was all over my juffer as I came out of the pits. But then he made that one more crucial mistake, and from there just saw it out, really.
Yeah, like you say, from there saw it out. Again, the BMW for you round here, it looks very comfortable, looks very planted. Is that the way it's feeling tonight, or are you having to work hard for this?
I'd say there's moments where it's a little bit sketchy, but yeah, it's mostly pretty hooked up. But yeah, there's moments where maybe it's skimming the bollards a little bit closer than what I'd like, but I think that's more just my driving style rather than the car itself having any issues. It feels very good. It's very quick around here.
Double points for yourself tonight, as we spoke earlier. Puts you back in the lead by 7 points. What can you do race 2 to extend that over Dan?
Just got to try and stay out of trouble. I know it's always like the response, but it really is the case. It's a narrow track, and it's not easy to overtake at all. So it's about really waiting for mistakes to happen in front of you. I just hope that Dan and I can both stay out of trouble now and for the rest of the season, because it's shaping up to be an exciting battle. Disco's now found his groove on his wheel. Biggs is also up there as well, so you know the constructors' battle is really close, and I just hope that we can have a clean, fair battle from now to the end of the season, and we can really enjoy ourselves.
Rightly so, buddy. We'll let you get back to it, ready for race 2, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you, Matt.
Cheers, buddy. Congratulations as well, because that makes the BMW now 14-time race winner here at Simplay Motorsport and 24 pole positions for that to its name. The Porsche won't get to the 50 mark tonight, but can Gary maybe get a race win here? We'll have to wait and see. BT Targa currently on pole position with Emo Guy 2nd, X-Mart 3rd, Gary 4th, Little Each 5th, Monkey Boy 6th, KLF 7th. And an interesting fact about Gary, he's just texted in the mid-session break. His wheel settings have been all wrong, and he's figured them out. He's recalibrated his wheel, and guess what? The wheel feels like its old self. So Gary could be making a comeback here, Jamie.
Yeah, he could. We could see season 1, season 2, Gary.
This could be an interesting fight. He's currently down in P5 at the minute, so maybe just got to tweak the setup and get back used to the car.
Oh, it looks like he's been in the wall a bit.
But so far, so good. It does look like he's been in the wall a bit, to be fair. It looks like he's had a fair few shunts there. But can he, though, keep this pace up, and can he keep the pressure on as we head into this final stage of the night? Can he get that Porsche's 49th race win? Only time will tell as we get into this one a little later on. Jamie, who's your tip for the race 2 win?
Well, at the minute, I'd have to say BT. I mean, he's in the 32 or 32 dead. He's done a 32 dead, half a second quicker than Fury. I mean, he looks happy with it. He's just gonna sit in the garage. He's half a second quicker. It's going to be difficult for Andy and Northtubs to make their way through. So I'm going to go with BT here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with BT Targa as well for the race win. Get your comments in the chat for who you think's going to get the race win, as well as for driver of the day. And just reading some chats there. Nearly Biggs, one more lap, says Argent. Biggs said that was hard to drive for the last 2 laps, and if only he didn't hit the curb at his laps and spin, Argent may have been up there for a P4. But BT and Xmart in the pits, they will not get another lap in. Emo Guys just started a final run. Who is at Clay Hill at the minute? Who's coming up the hill? That is Monkey Boy. Where's he? P7. Can he find any more time to jump Little Each here? This is the big question now. Looks like he will get. He looks like he'll be the final guy to get a run in.
Yeah, it looked like he had a bit of a wiggle. He'll get one more bite of the cherry.
Comes through Deer Leap now and comes towards the line. What's his time going to be as he gets to the line and crosses it? Will it be any improvement? No, P7 for him, and it will stay at P7, but does get one run. Who then is at Druid's Corner now with the, what pair are at Druid's? That's Kelly and Little Each then at Druid's coming through to see if they can, will they get a final run? That'll be close, you know. Well, Kelly won't. Yep, Kelly won't. That'll be 8th place for Kelly. That'll be Kelly done. Can Little Each get a final run? This might be close if he can get one. Yeah, he will just get one. Fury's bailed out as well. So the next runner will be Gary 131. Kelly then will only be 8th place. Where can Gary get an improvement? Go second. Wow. Hello. Emo Guy. Monkey Boy, Little Each to finish quali. Little Each won't, sorry, he's in the pits. So Emo Guy and Monkey Boy to finish. Oh, God, have we got Gary back here?
We've got Mr. Two Times back.
Yeah, this could be an interesting race in this second one, folks. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Emo Guy stays P4 as he gets the line. So it is just Monkey Boy then that we are waiting for pole. But it looks like it's BT Target to take himself a second pole of the season. And good job to him. Gary looks like he's going to be second place with Emo Guy in 4th. Can Monkey Boy, though, gain any places here?
Tell you what, you can see from this view, you can see how bumpy the track is, especially that last straight towards the final corner. He ran a bit wide there.
To the line now, needs some 7/10 of a second. Does he improve? I don't think he did.
I think he improved his time, but not his position.
Yeah, he did. He improved his time, but not his position. So Monkey Boy will start P7, and Little Each will be starting in P6 now then. So it's BT Targa who gets the second pole from Gary, Fury, Emo, Xmart, Little Each, Monkey Boy, KLF, Disco, the first of the non-qualifiers with Sooty, Argent, Andy Biggs, Peaceful, and Orthodox at the back then. Who will take the race wins tonight? This is the biggest question here. Who will take this second race win? Jamie says BT. I think I'm still going to stick with BT Targa. But it's going to be a close one. Get your predictions in the chat. That is the McLaren's 18th pole position here at Simplay Motorsport. And it goes now only 6 behind the BMW M6. But I tell you what, when Andy's driving that thing, it's hard to outdo the poles in that car. And that's an extra point for BT Targa in his championship run at the moment to get him that bit closer to Gary. What's the chat saying at the minute? Gary for the win there. From there, says Mike Matthews. And Smithy asking him if he's been drinking.
I was going to say, with the random grid, Andy's got himself a bit of luck, because not only is he in front of D Biggs, he's in front of Unorthodox.
Yeah.
And he's a lot further up the grid, and he's got his teammate just ahead, so he's got his teammate to help him, and he hasn't got as much traffic to deal with.
He's got Peaceful in that gap between him as well, hasn't he? With D Biggs, he's got the Peaceful in the middle of himself and Dan.
Yeah, and so for Unorthodox, it's going to be very tricky coming right from the back.
It is indeed. Then come on the Ferrari, says PN Motorsport, who's the Ferrari driver on F1 2021. And we'll be out on track at Canada, where Dan Davis on Orthodox will be bringing you live coverage of the Canadian Grand Prix, the circuit's your view on Earth. But right now, we're at the circuit Oulton Park for round 14 of the season. It's green and go. Disco's got an absolute blinder in the background, but BT and Gary both away relatively well, and Gary's going to have to settle at the minute to just tuck in behind the McLaren. We're all through Tier 1 pretty cleanly at the minute. It looks like nobody off in the background. Was there Disco? Yeah, Disco's dropped, so has Argent.
Yeah, Disco and Argent.
Oh, wow.
Argent's got their rear wing.
Argent's going to have to make 2 pit stops in this second race. Then you'd imagine from there, because he's surely not going to get that to lap 4 around this circuit. But at the minute, Andy well ahead of Dan. Dan, though, ahead of his teammate and ahead of Andy's teammate as well. Dan clearing the traffic quite quickly there as Little Leach has got past. He looks like he's made a mistake. He's got past by about 3 or 4 cars. Kelly stays 7th at the minute. Gary has the Sandbag Motorsport Mercedes-Benz right up his rear end, as here is Little Leach now on the back of
He's got damage.
D Biggs. Yeah, big damage. I wonder if he's gone wide, coming through the left-hand kink in towards the hairpin. Gary having these 2 Mercedes-Benz right on their heels, but the Mercedes didn't seem strong throughout that race towards the end of it. Argent was probably the best Mercedes in race 1. But here they come now, up the hill. Dan's got to be sitting on the back of this BMW. He's got to get past him. Can't sit on the back. He's got to get past. He's got to weaken Andy's double points as much as possible.
He has, but say they've got Sutty in front of him, and we know how much of how Sutty is.
Indeed, and KLF. And Dan wiggling a nose up the inside very cheekily of Andy there. Excuse me, and Dan up the inside at Lodge, just pushing Andy a little wide. Is that Dan through, or can that BMW keep it on the outside? Sutty's looking on Kelly. Dan's going to get a bit boxed in by traffic here. Sutty up the inside of Kelly. Dan up the inside of Andy. Sutty's gone deep. Kelly's come back at him. No, he hasn't. Kelly in the way of Dan, though. Dan has to put on the brakes a little more. And does this give Andy a run down to Cascades? Here comes Kelly and Dan. Dan looking up the inside of Cascades. And that's job done. And does he come in? He's made contact with Andy there. That is Biggs and Peaceful who's made contact with each other as well.
Argent in the pits as well.
Oh, Gary! Oh, Emo! Gary's got to sit and wait as he got a tap from Emo Guy there. Not sure what happened, but Andy now behind Dan.
Emo Guy had already lost it and come. I think he might have touched the grass or something, and just come back across the track, and there was just a. Gary was just the poor victim there. He
was. A Sutty Apex defending from Dan into the Hislop chicane. Can't do nothing about it. Can he keep it tucked in? No, he can't. Job done for Dan. He's ahead of Sutty, which keeps Sutty between him and Andy now. Andy's got to clear the McLaren of Sutty Apex. Argent, going to be a long race now, says in the chat. He's got to pit twice, let's not forget, because you've got to pit at the end of lap 4. This man has cleared everybody and just gone.
Yeah, he's cleared. He's cleared off. He's in. He'll be it tomorrow when everyone else finishes.
Fury there, a bit too much curve as he's coming round that final corner, but keeps it going. Monkey Boy currently 3rd with, Exmar on the rear end of him as they come down into turn 1 now. Andy past Sutty Apex, job done. Now Dan has to clear Emo Guy. This isn't going to be an easy task. We think Emo Guy's got damaged.
I thought Sutty had lost it then. It looked like he had a bit of a wiggle there, but I thought he'd lost it, but he hasn't.
I thought he had as well, the way the cameraman didn't pick him up.
BT Target has already lapped Argent.
Yeah, he's flying, isn't he? Argent not in the pits for as long as I was expecting, at least. But he is flying. Monkey Boy doing a good job in 3rd at the minute, trying to stick to the back of the Mercedes-Benz. And did Dan just tap the rear of Emo Guy there? Emo Guy's got damage. Dan is trying to clear this pack as quickly as possible here. Sutty on the back of Andy. Dan needing to get past this Mercedes-Benz as soon as he possibly can. And at the minute, it's just not working for him.
No, I think I North gave Emo Guy a little bit of a kiss on the rear end.
Yeah, I like that. As he comes into the Hislop chicane, then in towards Knickerbrook now. And Dan really now on the back of Emo Guy. Andy just not close enough to Dan at this moment in time to get a job done. And so far, so good. If you BT Targa, Fury kind of not on the same pace as the BT Targa out front. Monkey Boy's on the back of him as Xmart's trying to close down Monkey Boy. Dan looking for a run on Emo here, though. That is job done in towards Druids. And Dan puts another car between himself and Andy.
Emo Guy could come back at him here with the Mercedes straight on speed. He's going to have a look into Old Hall. Oh, he
thought about it, yeah.
Yeah, he thought about it.
Had a think, decided not to. Dan, though, can push on his way now to hunt down Exmar out in front. And can Dan get this job done? Oh, he's all over the curb there. Steady, Dan. Here goes Andy, pulls to the outside now. Is this going to be job done for position? Yeah, it is. Look at that, job done.
Ooh, got on the grass a bit there, though.
It was a bit tight there. Sutty also in the background trying to come through. Emo guy's wiggling. He's struggling with damage, I think, there.
It's gone full with him as he got suspension damage.
I don't know. I think it's more aero. The way it looked like it was just slow down the lakeside straight to the BM. The Merc's not that slow in comparison to another car. Look at the BM just pull away. I wonder if it's just more aero damage at the minute.
Yeah.
As Xmart then, in 4th place, looking for a good result for Team Prolapse, has got Dan hunting him down. Out front, the gap still 7 seconds. BT to Fury. BT extending his gap. And Dan here on the back of Xmart, trying to come through the pack. He's done well so far, but every time Dan gets past one, Andy's just following him through. And that's all Andy needs to do, Jamie, isn't it? Just sit on the rear.
Yeah, he just needs to... Again, I was going to say, a massive shout out to KLF. He's running in 10th place after his struggles in race 1. He's got Little Leech just behind him.
He has indeed. Emo guy then must have had damage. He's brought it in the pits.
Gary and Disco have just gone off.
Oh dear, I'm not sure what that is then. And Gary can't pit because his teammate's in.
They're still going side by side.
I wonder if Gary had damage from the Little Leech from the Emo guy incident earlier on. Little Leech in the pits. Gary can't pit this lap then and has got to go on. So Gary's troubles continue from here. And Dan on the back of Xmart once again. Argent's right in front of Fury. I'm just looking on the track map. That's a lapped car, let's not forget. They don't have to move out the way. But he stays out the way now for his old teammate. Thank you very much. In fact, the car behind him is his old teammate as well. Now, Dan on Xmart at Hislops. Has a look. Can't do it. Xmart covers well. How hard does Dan push here, Jamie? Doesn't want to lose the rear. Doesn't want to have a few spins like last time. How hard does Dan push here?
Thing is, he looks like he's pushing really hard. Oh, he's got up the inside. This is
he has.
Difficult place to overtake. He touches the grass.
Oh, yeah, they touch. They make contact. He's run one wide, and round he goes. And has Dan just forced a mistake there? Xmart off as well, and has Dan just forced an error that he didn't need to make on lap 5, sorry. And Dan all of a sudden is back down to 8th, and his championship rival gained 2 places. Monkey Boy in the pits.
He did not need to make that move at all. Every time you see him move at that corner, it just does not come off. I remember a move on that Sutty Apex made back in Season 2. He made a move at that corner, and it did not go well for him at all.
There's 2 corners you cannot really overtake on. That is Cascades and Druids. And Xmart's got himself a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane to go along with his frustrations. 10 seconds it is. But oh dear, maybe an investigation needed for that one.
You saw on off that he just touched the grass, and once you get on the grass, you're just not going to stop the car. He could have waited for the next corner. I think he saw Andy behind him, knew Andy was in double points. I think the pressure's just really got to him. He's
pushed too hard, hasn't he, really, there? He's pushed way too hard. And like you say, the pressure has got to him. Argent now is ahead of Andy. Yes, on the track is ahead of Andy. As Argent still got to make another pit stop here as well. Disco, though, on the back of Sutty Apex here then. These 2 guys haven't pitted yet. Sorry, apologies. Sutty has pitted.
Yeah.
Disco's round. Oh, what a shame. And all the jubilations of race 1.
Again, I think he's just pushing a bit too hard as well, just to get past that. The circuit really brings out. I was going to say, people have to push really hard around the circuit. It brings out a load of mistakes just because he's wide again, just because of how difficult it is to pass around here.
3 o'clock in the afternoon, the race time is. I wonder if these just cooler conditions are just hurting this BMW a little bit, or hurting certain drivers a little bit. Smithy and PM Motorsport in the chat. Oh, Dan, that was a bit naughty as Sutty's in.
Sutty's already pitted.
Sutty has already pitted, I'm sure he has. I've jotted it down on my notebook. Oh, well,
Have they changed his tyres by accident?
possibly.
They might have put him onto the hard tyres, but then he looked like he was all over the back of. Well, to be fair, he was defending from Disco.
From Disco, yeah.
So I wonder whether they have put him on the hard tyres.
Possibly so. BT leads this race 7 seconds ahead of Fury, Andy, Dan, KLF. Peaceful's up to 6th, Monkey Boy's down to 7th, but Monkey Boy has been in the pit. Exmart on the back of Disco, 10-second penalty to his name will drop him down 2 places behind D-Biggs and behind Emo Guy. Argent's got to pit again. So work to do for these guys out here on track today. And how much is Dan going to regret that decision? Who's this? This is KLF defending from Peaceful Explosion here.
Yeah, he's doing very well. He's up to 5th, kept his nose clean. Is Peaceful going to look for the move on the inside? No, not quite.
No, not going to chance it unless he's got the run. They both have a bit of a... Peaceful has a bit of a wiggle off the curb there. Does Peaceful have a run up the inside into Old Hall? Don't think so. He's having a look. Doesn't get it done though. Kelly, the wise old fox, or the wise old Ginster's pasty lover, doesn't rise to the challenge and stays P5 at the moment. Love you really, Kelly. Monkey Boy's just... Oh, right, that's why. This goes in.
I was going to say, looking at the lap times, BT was the slowest out of the top 4.
He was the slowest out of the top 4, but he's not really got a push, has he, at the moment? He's just got to keep it nice and calm. Disco into the pit. Not going to jinx the Ferrari, says PN Motorsport. Here is one of the beloved Ferraris. Not in its traditional red, in the yellow. And through the Britain chicane. Both very different lines, but both equally as cautious as can be. And look at the Ferrari stretch its legs on the McLaren, but Kelly will have the inside line into the first part of his laps. Late on the brakes, a bit too late on the brakes there, forcing Peaceful to take the escape road. And does that give Kelly the place back? Yes, it does. Bit late on the brakes there, day late, $1 short. Here, though, comes Peaceful Explosion once again.
No, having a look.
Kelly wide at Druids. Oh, they touch! They touch! Definite contact made. And Kelly stays back in front.
Yeah, Kelly keeps the position. I was going to say, it's okay. That was a proper touring car move. Just shove the person on the outside out.
Ah. Andy in the pits, lap 8. Dan still not yet pitted. Peaceful goes for the sending up the inside at Old Hall. Can't get the job done. Kelly keeps it hung around the outside. And these two, there could be handbags here at the minute. Let's go to the wider view. As this is turning into a right little scrap here. The handbags are out. Fury's granddad, he had a Ginsters for his lunch the other day. I bet that was a proper pasty. That's probably what's got Kelly so riled. I mentioned Ginsters. On he goes, though. Nevertheless, still is into P4 now, is these two. But Andy right on the back of this. I tell you what, Andy does not need to get caught up in anything here. Kelly defending from Peaceful for his life. And Andy trying to gain on the back here. But the top 5 yet to pit. Peaceful, Kelly, BT Target, Argent and Fury yet to pit. Argent's got to repit, let's not forget. On late on the brakes into the chicane. And Mike now a day late and $1 short. Taps Kelly round and into the tyre wall himself. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
And Andy gets away scot.
Yeah.
Scot free.
Thank you, Mama, for the carrots.
Yep, rubbing his hands and thinking of how many points he's going to gain on Dan.
Yeah, he's already writing an early Christmas list, is this man? Because he's on his way to another good result here at the minute. Wow, what's the gap to Dan? 13 seconds. So Dan needs some miracle pit stop there. Peaceful. Oh, he's round again. Stay still. There's a car coming. You're clear now to spin it round. Rangers knocked Dortmund out of the Europa League. Jeez, good result for the Rangers. Is Peaceful here, drops to 9th, drops to 10th, has to pit. I reckon there could be an inquiry coming in there.
Oh, wait, who's that? Oh, it's KLF. He's going very slowly. He is going extremely slowly.
Plenty of fuel. I wonder if he's just changing his strategy here on the D-pad.
Yeah, back to the Dortmund Rangers thing. I think Rangers won 4-1 or 4-2.
4-2 at Dortmund, and then I think it came up on my phone saying they drew 2-2 at Ibrox. So good result for Rangers. And Peaceful and Kelly, look, Argent still got to pick. Could be 13th and 14th by the end of this one. But BT Target, Fury, Unorthodox, still the only cars to pick. Kelly's out and on his way. And Art Peaceful here, he's got a long old stop ahead of him. Argent still got a stop. Let's not forget. Oh, has this man just had a mistake?
I think he's just had a little wiggle.
14 seconds to that. Oh, Peaceful. Got a time penalty. Gary's back in the pits once again. It's 10 seconds for Mike as he just let go of the limiter too early.
Yeah.
Fury's in. When are we going to see Dan in the pits? This is another question. When will Dan pit?
Where's Fury going to come out in proportion to Andy?
I reckon Fury will be off the limiter. That is Emo Guy in the pits once again. Oh, no, sorry, that might be Argent in the pits. Fury's away. There, Fury's away.
Fury's off. Fury's off now. There's Andy. Oh, he's very close.
Very, very close to the back of him. This then for P3. Overall, the leaders have still got to pit. So if Andy's that close to Fury, you'd imagine Andy will be able to jump Dan here. You'd imagine so. 21 people watching the stream. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. If you like what you see here, hit the thumbs up, hit the bell to be notified when we're live as well. Join Unorthodox live Sunday night for the Canadian Grand Prix at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And Andy, look at that. Look at the closing speed mid-corner at the hairpin.
He knows whilst he's stuck behind Fury, he's losing crucial seconds to Unorthodox, so he wants to clear that Mercedes as quick as possible. He probably knows it's not that good on turn, and the BMW is a lot better, so he's just got to try and get the traction at the corner to...
Lap 11 of 20 though, Jamie, so he can still be patient here. Still be, waiting to make that move done. But you're right, he doesn't want to lose the time to Dan. Now, BT Target is coming. In fact, he's round. He's past the line. Dan, is he going to think of pitting? Normally when they get... No, he's not. He's going to carry on his way. So lap 12 for these two. They've got to pit by the end of lap 14, let's not forget, before their stops have to be made. So let's see what happens here then.
And he had a little look going into the lodge. Probably weren't really... The move probably wasn't really on there. So he thought better of it. There's a big old battle pack. Oh, I think Emo Guy spun.
Emo Guy's had a spin then. And that's put Disco 9th. X-Mark's running P6. 10-second penalty to his name. He'll only lose out to Biggs at the minute. Needs to clear Biggs and get away. Monkey Boy having a good showing in P5 at the moment. Now Monkey Boy, 9 seconds behind Dan. We know Andy could clear Dan at this minute. Could Monkey Boy get in front of Dan?
From looking at the pace, Monkey Boy's about over a second off the pace, so really he needs to...
Yeah, he needs to up the pace a bit, doesn't he? PM Motorsport, past 200 subscribers, by the way, mate. Yeah, we got past 200 subscribers the other day. Thank you very much to everybody who has subscribed to the channel. Please continue your support, sharing the channel, sharing the streams, and get as many people in. As obviously, the more of you there is, the more action we like this we can bring you. Don't forget to join us Sunday night, 7 p.m. GMT. Canadian Grand Prix. Andy still staring at the back of a Mercedes-Benz. Now, there's no BMWs in the Formula 1, but there is a couple of Mercedes. They are on 9 points between them. Fury in a McLaren on that night. Mercedes powered. But it's Germany versus Germany here. A bit of German machinery at its finest, fighting out on a British soil. World War II all over again.
Yeah. Ooh, there's a little bit of a lock up there from Fury. You just see the tyre mark that he left.
Now, BT and Dan have started lap 13. Them two have got to pit this lap or the next lap. Fury, look at that. Just struggling. Is that the opening? Gary's back in the pits once again here. Not the night Gary would have wanted. No points in the first race and very little points in race 2. And Fury just a bit tentative, I think I'd say, on the corners.
The thing is, at Old Hall Corner, you can go that bit. You can make that little mistake because you just can't overtake into Cascades.
Yeah. Fury then covering that inside line at the hairpin. Down they come and around they go. How many will hit the wall of champions? I think that's a question for Dan on Sunday. Argent's back in the pits again, so not the race 2 Argent would have wanted after nearly getting a P4 in race 1.
was going to say, Dan hasn't exactly cleared, hasn't exactly pulled a massive hit, because the gap's roughly still the same, even though Andy's stuck behind Fury.
BT in the pits. Yeah, you're right, Jamie. He's not really pulled a massive gap out, has he? He's not really done a lot here. And is this going to be BT? Pole to win once again. Dan, well, he's going to the very end. So will he take the lead of this race? BT's on his way out the pit lane. Yes, he will. Dan leads. Dan also has Peaceful and Gary as traffic. Oh, you'd hate for one of them to spin in front of you, wouldn't you?
I would have come in if I was Dan, then, because you've got two cars in front, and they don't have to get out of the way. Yeah,
they don't have to get out of the way. And, like you say, if Dan had pitted, he'd have cleared that traffic and been nowhere near it. And he's still behind Fury at the moment.
And say if an Orthodox had pitted, he could have come out behind Andy and started making headway in.
Yeah.
Say with Andy being stuck behind.
Well, Dan's got to pit this lap, otherwise we'll face drive-through penalty for not pitting in the correct pit window. Andy really having a good stare at the back of that Mercedes-Benz, wants to clear it here. I'd say Fury's helping Dan out, but like you said a minute ago, the gap is staying the same.
Yeah, it's staying roughly about between 15 and 16 seconds. Dan would want it to be to about 20 seconds.
Little Leach in the pits. That gives Kelly an extra place and to KLF up to P11 in this race at the minute. Monkey Boy having a good run in P5 so far. Andy, lap 14 of 20.
Right, he's in.
Yep, Dan Boxers has to come in, gets it in now. Does he slow it down? Just about. Yes, he does. Right. Game on now. Dan, stop. How good is it? That's little. That's Little Leach away. Dan's not had a great stop there at all. And look at him. Now, where's Monkey Boy? He's just coming through Lodge, so Monkey Boy I don't think is going to get on the back of Dan. Xmark giving Monkey Boy some right hassle here. Xmark needs to get on with it. He's got a 10-second penalty.
Dan's away now.
What's the gap?
Oh, 7 seconds, I imagine.
Yep, 7.3. Good guess there.
Yeah.
7 seconds end to Andy, and he's got... Is that Emo Guy or Origin, the back marker in between them? It's Emo Guy, the back marker then in between. No, it's not. I'm sure I saw a Mercedes. No, Fury's still behind Andy. I'm sure I saw a Mercedes-Benz. There's a back marker in between Dan and the leaders. Then that's Gary on the back of Peaceful. Not for position though. Peaceful got past Little Leach. Needs to finish 10 seconds ahead. There's Kelly. It's Little Leach. It's Little Leach.
Yeah.
It's Little Leach then. The back marker who's behind. Andy still staring at the back of that Mercedes-Benz. Will be able to paint you a pretty picture of it by the end of this race. 9 seconds to the leader on lap 15 of 20. And we're coming to lap 16 as the leader comes out the final corner now. This battle really hearting up. There's also Xmart and Monkey Boy on track who are having a good little scrap. But Dan, 6.6 behind. He's got a heck of a job with 4 or 5 laps left in this race.
Yeah, unless he's a second quicker a lap, he's not going to catch him. Remember, he's got to try and overtake him around here.
Yeah, so that's the problem. Catching is one thing, passing's another. As these two start their 16th lap of this race, and the Porsches haven't had the best of night here tonight. Where's Monkey Boy and Xmark? Xmark's got that job done then. He's P5 now. He's got a clear 10 seconds. So at the minute, he will finish back behind Monkey Boy and D Biggs, and he'll finish P7 at this moment in time. Monkey Boy, though, can just sit behind Xmark and take the time to get going. Andy's still staring at the back, and all this time now Andy's behind. Dan needs to pump in the laps. We saw that he didn't pull away that much before his pit stop. He now, Jamie, needs to put in the laps while Fury is doing the job.
Thing is, he's not. The time's going up. It's going to 6.6. It was 5 seconds. Probably be about 15 15 seconds ago, so he's not catching.
No, he's not catching at all. He is struggling, is Dan out there, and has got to clear Little Each here. And Fury doing a stellar job to keep Andy at bay. Andy, is this what Dan should have done with X-Mark, maybe? Just be patient.
Yeah, and he's been very patient. He's waiting for Fury to make a mistake. To be fair, Fury is making a mistake, but it's always the old tall corner where now they've got 2 back markers. That's
Oh, Little Each round in the background. Does Dan stay? Does Dan get out of the way of that? I think he has. He's come through fine. Yep, Little Each stayed still and Dan through unscathed. But that was Little Each and Peaceful, I think. Sorry, that's Argent and Peaceful. Both on different laps to the leaders. Oh, and this isn't the place you'd want to be catching lap traffic. Cascades corner. Oh, dear.
Hopefully they'll both just get out of the way. Oh, Peaceful. I think Peaceful's now going to stick right out of the way here.
Oh, he hasn't. And Fury's got a horrible run. And Andy then up the inside into this little left-hand bend. Fury gives him the room just about, not going on the grass. And Andy, great manoeuvre, great respect from the pair of them. P2 at the minute for Andy. Now then, Dan, you've got to catch the Merc. You've got to catch this Mercedes-Benz.
Andy's just got a... Oh, he's gone a bit wide, though.
He's gone very wide, very, very wide. And that could give Fury an almighty run. Yeah, he's backed out of it, look.
Is Andy going to try and hold it red? Oh! He tried to hold it around the outside. He didn't need to do that. He should have just slotted back in, because look, Dan's unorthodox is now 5 seconds.
Yeah,
He's lost a lot of time to Fury as well.
He has lost a lot of time to Fury there. Andy pushed a bit too hard, man. Maybe he didn't need to push at all, but Dan's got to clear the back markers of Peaceful and Argent, of Peaceful Explosion. So these haven't cleared Argent yet. There's Peaceful in the background. There's Dan. Sorry, this is D Biggs. Within a second now, Monkey Boy. So Monkey Boy just slowly dropping off the back of X-Mark. Just not running at the same pace at the moment, but a good 6th place. Don't forget, Monkey Boy's best is 8th here this season. So anything above 8 is a season best for Monkey Boy. BT target, 9 seconds up the road so far.
Well, I was going to say he'll get a 5th place here, because
at the minute, yeah.
Because of X-Mark's penalty.
Indeed he will. And on to lap 18 these boys now start. Dan has the gap now under 5 seconds.
That's the gap's about 4.8. This is where Andy made the move last time. He's there, nowhere near close enough.
No.
Again, I think Unortho's just going to run out of laps.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think he's needing these two to fight more. The more Andy was following Fury, the less Dan caught up. The more Andy's fighting with Fury, properly trading places, the better it'll be for Dan. The problem is they're not trading places. X-Mark's had a problem because Monkey Boy's got past. Now D Biggs has got past.
Yeah, he was slow coming off the Shell Oil's hairpin there.
So X-Mark drops to 7th. Still, I mean, this is where he would have finished anyway because of his 10-second penalty.
Well, he has to be careful because, look, Disco is 11 seconds behind.
He is indeed. Little Each needs to finish 10 seconds behind for Peaceful to keep P11. But this, the talking point. Scan up. The gap's gone back over 5 seconds. Dan hasn't got an answer here.
No, he doesn't.
Hasn't got an answer. What about Andy? Does he have an answer? He'd love a second place. As much as finishing ahead of Dan is brilliant, them extra points, even better.
I honestly don't think Andy's going to pressure Fury, and unless Fury makes a mistake, I don't think Andy's really going to go for the move. Or
you think he's now Colin Turkington it and settling for the 3rd?
Yeah, he's now just going to sit behind.
Pressure enough for Fury to try and make a mistake, but take the points nonetheless. I think that's possibly wise. But I also think if you're going for the championship, and while we get into the back end of the season, you've got to sort of... These are the moments that if you lose it by a couple of points, oh, well, if I'd have just got past Fury, you know?
Yeah, but say he don't want... Because say Fury is a very good defender, so he doesn't want to... Force a move on Fury, and
this is true.
End up having contact, because then he'd regret that because he's actually be behind Dan.
This is true. Didn't think of that one. Fury and Andy there put a lap on Argent. Argent had a terrible race. BT Targa at the final corner for the penultimate time in this race. Biggs right on the back of Monkey Boy now. Look, 0.3 of a second. Biggs had a good night, a 4th and a 6th at the minute. Get your votes in the chat for the driver of the day. Can Biggs make it a 4th and a 5th? Look at the run up Clay Hill. Look how tight it is. Yeah.
You see, that's what Unorthodox should have tried with X-Mark, because he might have run wide at the corner, but he went for the move before the corner. Oh, he
Biggs. Oh, he does indeed, and gets out of that, knows he can't make the corner, and that might have just saved Monkey Boy. Back to the battle at the front. What's the gap? That's the gap. Ooh.
Andy settling for 3rd now.
Fury braked it, the left-hander there. And look how much Andy's gained, actually. Oh, a bit of a wiggle mid-corner for Fury. Oh, hello. Could Andy be looking interested? We'll cut to BT Targa shortly in what has been a dominant lights to flag victory for him. But at the minute, it's Andy who's looking like he's going to put the pressure on. Hislop chicane, final time. Can't get anything done there. Fury is not going to be busted through there. Knickerbrook. Now, Andy's last chance is probably set him up at Druids for Old Hall. No, for Lodge.
For Lodge, yeah. And he doesn't want to pull a Honda.
He doesn't want to pull a Honda, no. He's made the mistake. Let's cut to BT Targa then, who's going to take his 2nd race win of the season. Another race win for the McLaren, but it's not the McLaren we know that's been winning recently. It is BT Targa who takes it. This is going to be a cracking result for Fury. A 2nd place here. Great job from him. Andy as well. Once again, more good points in this race. Dan, it's good points, but it's off the podium, and that's the big thing for Dan. He needs podium finishes. Argent finishes a lap down in P15. D Biggs got past Monkey Boy. In fact, Monkey Boy has dropped to 7th. Have these two had a bit of contact?
We'll see when he comes out.
So Biggs will cross for 5th. X-Mart will cross for 6th. Monkey Boy should get 6th place.
He looks like he's hit a wall somewhere. There's some damage to the front bumper.
So Monkey Boy 6th, X-Mart 7th.
Ooh.
Just probably.
Disco didn't get X-Mark. Sutty over the line for 9th.
8th for Disco. Sutty in P9. Good result for Sutty in this one. Emo Guy for P10. What could have been for Gary maybe in this one? Oh, a bit of a wiggle there.
Oh, he's lost it.
Even bigger wiggle there. Where's Kelly? 16 seconds. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No, he's a Druids.
11th place though for Kelly tonight. Some more good points in the kitty.
Yeah, more good points in the relegation battle.
Indeed, big relegation scrap there. Peacefuls came out for P12. It'll be Little Each who'll get 13th, and Gary 131 will get 14th. We await fastest lap. Who took the fastest lap? Driver of the day. Dan, sorry. Oh, there we go. Sorry, X-Mart hit the grass. I'm sorry, buddy. Driver of the day, just having a look. No one in there at the minute. Oh, great race. BT Fury, Andy. Well done, BT Fury, Andy. Who took the fastest lap?
Gary. 33 dead.
Dan did a 33.040. Dan's was quicker. 33.040. So Dan... Close back at next point. Let's get BT Targa and Fury in here and hope that Andy joins us. Jamie, if you could send them an invite. We give Dan the fastest lap. I will quickly work out the tables. Make sure you join us live on Sunday for the Formula 1 around the Canadian Grand Prix around the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve, where Unorthodox will bring you through the action. Can myself and Gary take another one too? Will Green Pies challenge us for the title as well a bit more, or will someone else take the race win in that one on what will be Bryn's 50th race on Sunday night? The championship standings then look like this. Andy leads, comes away 23 points clear of Unorthodox. Fury, P3, 97 off the back. BT Targa now up to 4. He is some 5 clear of Gary. He's got double points still to take. Emo Guy in P6 with D-Big 7th. Peaceful stays 8th. Pulls a bit more clear of X-Mart once again tonight. Sooty Apex 10th with Disco moving up to 11th. Argent going a point clear of his teammate for 12th. Mace down to 13th. Lidl each 3 points off the back of him in 14th, Monkey Boy 15th, Kelly 16th place. And we've got Andy in. And Andy, we'll start with yourself as you came third. You just couldn't get past that Mercedes at the end there, could you?
No, briefly got ahead of Fury, but I just want to say, awesome battle there, Fury. That was brilliant. Went all the way down to the wire. Gave everything I had, and it wasn't enough, so really good defensive driving. Managed to nab him briefly, and I thought I got it, but yeah, that one got away from me, so nonetheless, P3, I'll take that. P1 and a P3 on double points, not the best, but yeah, certainly not too shabby.
Not the best,
And,
but outscored Dan both races there, Andy. Sorry to cut you off. Outscored Dan both races, so you say not the best, but job done nonetheless.
Yeah, and I did make it count, the double points. You know, what I'm relieved about is that I didn't walk away from it regretting taking them here, because P1 and P3, perfectly solid, and I hoped maybe to take a double win, but yeah, no, I can't complain. I'm reasonably happy with that.
You go to Long Beach next week. What's your thoughts for around there? What can we do around there?
Long Beach is a good one for me. I went around in the Lambo last time, and that's obviously the Lambo. Having said that, Lambo's probably a bit more suited to the track than the BMW, but I prefer driving the BMW, so I think it should be a good one. Just got to try and be consistent now that I've got this lead in the championship. Managed to make it count this week. Managed to outscore down on double points, so yeah, just got to keep pushing and keep doing the same.
Well done, buddy. Congratulations on tonight, and we'll catch you next week for sure.
Cheers, thank you.
We've got Fury in the chat as well. And Joe, you've clearly put Texas behind you. What was a bad week there? You've came here, not the best of race ones, but a heck of a race too. That was a good fight.
Yeah, well, Andy's just gone, but I was going to say, what a hell of a battle with him. And I'm glad that I was able to end that with such a close battle and not have such a bad race as last week.
Just want to say a massive shout out to Laura getting in there on the interviews. But yeah, like you say, after a bad week of last week, to come back with a podium this week, that was a good turnaround for yourself and a good way to get back into a bit of form, I suppose, ahead of Long Beach.
Yeah, Long Beach, I'm not really sure how the Merc's going to go. Obviously, there's a couple straights, but I don't think some of them are long enough apart from the start-finish straight that will benefit the Merc, really.
Are you glad to see the back of Oulton Park? What's the kind of what we thinking this week, next week? Get these two out the way, have a good end to the season, or?
This one wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. The tyres on the front went off towards the end, but I was still managing to keep somewhat pace. But obviously Andy just had that grit that I didn't towards the end, and he was just on the back of me constantly. Well,
it was a cracking night for myself, buddy. Well done on the third place. Tell Laura congratulations for getting in on the interviews as well. Cheers, bud. We got BT Target in with us as well, and there's a feeling here that we see you, and then it's so long till we see you again. It's been a long time since we've had you back in here. 5 races, I think, just counted now. Yeah, 5 races since we last had you on here, and that was a win. But that was a good win.
Yeah, no, I did enjoy that, and it was my fault in the first race. I was behind Peaceful, and the brakes on that Ferrari are awesome, and I just could not stop, and I did apologise to him. But yeah, then from then onwards, I come in contact with Emo and Fury a few times, and yeah, just about finished 10th, I think. But yeah, that race, my plan was to try and get pole and get away if I could, but I must admit, I didn't think I'd get away as good as I did.
Yeah.
That really did help. And, on a one-off lap, I don't think I was the quickest, but consistently I was just trying to pace myself to, just get it to the end without any problems.
Yeah, you sort of kept a lovely 9-second buffer between yourself. Yeah. Traffic tonight, obviously tight circuit. You seem to come out the pits, so then be sort of on the back of some traffic. How was the traffic for you tonight? Because obviously last night it was a bit of a talking point. Tonight again, tight circuits like this, I suppose it's difficult.
It is. What I find the hardest is to place yourself what side you're going to go past someone, especially if they're spinning or they're pulling back on the track, because it's just there's not much room. It's a bit like the Nürburgring. It's so narrow on areas, you're just on the dirt and that's it. But I mean the next race, it's definitely not a strong one for me. I'm not a lover of that circuit, but I'm not sure everyone will be either, but that should be interesting.
It should be indeed. Thoughts on next week? Obviously, we've got to ask. You've just said you're not a lover of it. What can you do?
I think if I could get in the top 5, I'd be really pleased with that, because I've had a go of it in the McLaren and I can't get hooked up very well at the moment. I might work on it this week, but yeah, I think if I could get in the top 5, I'd be well pleased with that for the championship, and then on to Rapuna and Laguna, is it?
Yeah, Laguna for the final double points.
Yeah, so I've got to decide between them two, I think. I like both of
definitely ruling out next week.
Yeah, definitely ruling that out without a doubt. But yeah, congrats to Fury and Andy. It sounded like they had a wicked battle behind.
Well done tonight, buddy. Hopefully, best luck again for next week. That tonight then was BT Targa's 8th win, tying himself with Sooty Apex on 8 wins apiece. And Andy ties himself with me on 12 wins apiece there. We're gaining on the top lot. Jamie, final words from yourself?
Brilliant racing tonight. Thank you for having me in the commentary
Pleasure.
box again. Yeah, so some brilliant racing. The Fury versus Andy battle was just brilliant, and say well done to BT Targa and Andy for winning the races.
Indeed. So, driver of the day?
It's got to go to Andy.
I'm going to give a shout out to, I think, Dan. I'm going to give a shout out to Monkey Boy. He had a great race. Going to give a shout out to Argent as well for race 1. Disco, an honourable mention as BT Target and Fury. But again, I think Andy has to get the driver of the day. Good double points for him, putting himself in the driver's seat for the championship this season. That's all we've got time for tonight. But join Dan on Orthodubs Live on Sunday for Formula 1 round Canada, the Montreal Grand Prix of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, for what should be an absolutely epic or crash fest. We'll have to wait and see what happens. We'll be back live next week. Kelly and Dan will be in your box next Wednesday from Long Beach, sunny California for the Pro-Ams. And me, and I don't know who yet, we'll be back live next Thursday for Long Beach once again. But no doubt you'll join us for that one. From all of us here, though, at Simplay Motorsport, take care. Good night.
Good night.